Let's rock and roll. God damn it.
Let's do it.
I'm pumped. I got a lot. I drank too much coffee this morning.
You did?
But you know what? I'm even more pumped because I got Aubrey Marcus sitting to my right.
Energy flowing from Aubrey.
I read his book, Own the Day, Own Your Life, Optimized Practices for Walking. You guys want to learn how to fucking walk, work, learn, eat, train, play, sleep, or have sex, you bastards? Here, I love the
jack on the front.
I like all the
on the back.
contents are great. By the way, his wifey is on the back. Couldn't be amazing, hotter. Water, light movement, deep breath, deep freeze, more fat, less sugar, or don't eat. Essential supplements, drive time, alive time, the power plants, doing work, eat a weird lunch, fucking the binaural power nap, very important. I nap. Training, reset and reconnect, eat dinner like a king, more, better sex. Jesus.
Aubrey, how hard was it to when someone? We had people pitch us books before, and I don't think we had our boy Sebastian on here.
Yeah.
And everyone goes, "Oh, let's do a book," and then when you do it, it's like, Jesus Christ.
I had to get honey dicked into it, honestly. Like
it's
people
hard,
kept
right?
telling me, like, "Oh man, it'll be easy. You know, we'll get you some help." The problem is, I'm a writer, right? So like, there was help available, but then I couldn't fucking stand when somebody else would try and like propose an idea or prose or something like that. And I would just like, it just felt gross. So I ended up writing it, and then I'd look back at it and be like, oh, did a fucking child write this? And then I'd rewrite it and I'd rewrite it. I mean, I paid the blood price.
You paid the blood price.
I paid the blood price.
But here's the thing, Ob, like, why, like, when someone's like, write a book, we're like, oh, I want to write about this. Then you look at the book, and, you know, obviously, Brian, I know you well. I'm like, that makes sense. But it's tough to figure out, like, what you want to do with the book. Because I think that was our biggest thing. Because Brian, when we were out for a book, you know, I just like, you have a cool cover, I'm going to buy that book. You have a hot girl on the back, I'm buying the book. Brian likes to look into the pages and actually read the thing. So when we got off
Aubrey sent me the book, and he goes, "Of all the people I know, I think you'll probably read this thing."
Yeah,
and I did right then. Actually,
yeah,
that's awesome.
I read right through it. Yeah.
So I think that's the toughest part for people, especially when you have you're in so many lanes. It's tough to figure out, kind of have it. Kind of challenge this all into one book. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. It was trying to harness all of this information, because total human optimization, this whole thing I live, it's about living a complete full life. And how do you put that in a book? And I think the key moment was realizing we're just going to compress this into one single fucking day. We're going to take an entire life and put it in a day, with each step like part of a process.
Well, sun up to sunrise, waking up.
Exactly. So all you have to focus on is just doing one day like the best in the world would do. You know, and then if you just focus on one day is doable. And each practice, each part of that day is also doable. So it's not like we're asking a 30-day program, a 40-day program, or some big ask. It's just like, all right, just try all this stuff for one day. You got clear prescriptions. You got clear like research backing it. It's easy to do in that way if you just relax into the process and just shorten the amount of commitment that you need to just, all right, I'm going to try this for one day and see what changes.
Well, what I appreciate about sort of, you know, on it and the whole thing, and even in the book, is that I'm very aware that there's a shitload of research that's gone into it, and this is why I know that. I don't just take anything for face value. So if you have this goat whey recovery protein, or you have Alpha Brain, or you have Shroom Tech Immune, if you actually go online, in today's marketplace, people do their research and they'll take you apart if you're not on
destroy
it.
You.
They will destroy you. But you can see that people who are really following this stuff. So a guy I know who was studying the gut biome, he's getting his PhD. He was in medical school, and he said actually on its total gut health, from all my research, my contemporary research, they've got it. That's probably the best product on the market right now. Or when you had that recovery protein, it was goat whey. I was like, that's so interesting, because they're finding that regular whey, because of the protein in Holstein American cows, is really hard to digest. It's a type of protein. It's not even that lactose. It's a type of protein. And of course, you guys have goat whey.
Yeah, no doubt. I like this. But
the point I'm making is that the amount of research.
This is the longest read for on it ever. But no, tell them about when you took those mushrooms, what it did to your skin.
Oh, yeah. So
this
with
is my favorite
chaga
part.
mushrooms with Shroom Tech Immune, I was like taking it when I get a cold, and I swear to God it works. I mean, look, I'm not a big supplement guy.
Yeah.
But I would take it, and everybody in my family would be sick, and I wouldn't get sick. So then I started doing some research on it. I was like, oh, this shit's got chaga mushrooms. It's got astragalus. It's got all this kind of that actually boosts your helper T. Problem is when you've got an autoimmune disease, you might want to be careful because your skin goes, let's attack your skin.
Show them your skin.
And it's gotten better, but that's way better than it was, dude.
Not good.
No. It's way better though, but it's not.
Your skin's flaking off. That was my favorite part.
Oh, my skin.
That's the poison ivy shin kick that you have available there.
It was so funny. He goes, dude, that shin
I
kick.
exploded. I went from smooth and 40 looking to middle-aged, red and bumpy.
Flaking like a snake.
So thank you, Chocolate.
Flaking like a snake.
Yeah, the immune system is a funny thing because it's our biggest ally and also like our biggest nemesis.
Mm-hmm.
All the allergic reactions, everything is basically our immune system attacking itself.
Yeah, that's
like anything you feel.
Do you feel a sense of relief after finishing this book?
Oh man,
because you had to do the Audible version too,
and
which I heard might be the worst part.
It was the hardest work I've ever done. Yeah, 7.5
Everyone says
hours
that.
reading like 4 days in a row, just locked in a studio. 2 producers in your ear telling you. They could tell me if my stomach was gurgling. They'd be like, "Oh, we got a little stomach in there. We're gonna have to take that from the top." I'm like, "Take it from the top."
Do you ever have to say a word over and over? Eventually, it sounds foreign.
Yes.
I was like, "Watch."
My mouth would get tired, and I couldn't form words for a little while. I'd have to take like a walk.
Oh yeah, it's a muscle.
Weird. Yeah,
your vocal cords are a muscle, and it's a very muscular process.
How much have you had to help me, B? Because we were doing this thing for Below the Belt this week, the one that airs on Showtime. I do all these wrestler WWE promos, so I'd watch Ric Flair. They had the exact outfit. Then I'd do the promo just like they would do it, and I was yelling. And Brian was on. I brought Brian set to give me like notes and stuff, and I was yelling. By the end of it, my voice.
He lost his voice.
We had to shoot a commercial after that. Me and Brian did.
Yeah.
And they
lost his voice.
They're like, "Can you do it?" And I was like, "I'll try." Brian's like, "No. He needs at least an hour." I'm like, "Dude, what do I do?"
Tabata sets of cunnilingus.
10
seconds up. Yeah, push the pace. Vigorous. Swirls.
Your voice,
and downs, left and right.
In theater school or anything you do, any performance, you'd always wonder when you were younger why you were doing all this voice work. You'd be doing like, and you learn how to relax your voice. And there were all these manipulations. And when you sing, it's, when you watch somebody like Christina Aguilera, a lot of people are it's God-given talent. She's been training her voice since she was 3 years old.
Because she couldn't do a show back to back. I thought about that because I did these promos, which were 30 minutes total, maybe 45 minutes. And I'm like, how did Ric Flair do it night after night?
Yeah.
Like, how's this?
You have to study your voice. I remember the first time I auditioned, I was in New York City. I was a young actor, 23 or something. And I was very nervous. And I went to audition for, I think, the Dramatic Academy of Dramatic Arts or something like that. And you would come in with a comedic monologue and a dramatic monologue.
Oh, that's easy.
One was funny and the other was, it's like, Tom, when I saw you standing on that hill up there, I knew you were going to die. And you're just acting, and you're
brutal,
and you're holding your body because it's cold. It's so embarrassing. Anyway, long story short, and these 3 rather gay theater aficionados who ran the program, and I never got. He had a ponytail. He was a very well dressed man, and he said, "Have you had any voice lessons?" And I said, "No," and he said, "It shows." And the other guy looks at me and he goes, "Yes, your voice needs a total rehashing."
Jesus Christ, man.
And that was the beginning of
It's all that stuff when you look into it. I'm sure with your book, look into stuff, and that's what you can get out of the book. But anything where you talk to professionals, it's like just unraveling fucking page after. It's like an onion, man. There's so much shit going on.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, with the book, there's the research that you can do, online, and then there's the practice that you can actually try it. Like sometimes the research looks good, and it's like, fucking 12 grams of guar gum will slow down your blood sugar. And then you try to eat 12 grams of guar gum.
It's a nightmare.
It's a nightmare. You know what I mean?
Guar gum.
Right?
Guar gum.
So it's like some of the research, they'll say like, have 2 grams of sodium bicarbonate, or baking soda. And then you try it and you're like, or like 2 tablespoons. And you're like, no, I just shit my pants.
Yeah, I feel
immediately.
like
shit. Yeah. I was going to ask
It's
you
like,
about that.
So it was a combination of we have like 300 clinical references, but a lot of stuff we had to ditch because we would try it. Me, Kyle Kingsbury, all the athletes in our gym, everybody. We'd experiment and be like, this is not possible. Like, okay, sodium bicarbonate, great for aerobic perforance,
not
but
realistic.
You're going to shit your pants every time.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do?
I'll take the shitty cardio.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
how hands-on were you? Because you talked about, what is it, sex life in there?
Yeah.
How so?
What do you mean, how so?
What do you mean? Like,
I've been training to write that chapter my whole life, Brendan Shaw. What the fuck are you talking about?
He's been in the
How you coming
trenches.
at me with that?
He's been in the
my
trenches.
whole life. I've been working since I was 16 for this. This is my
It's
moment.
the best chapter.
You
You should have made that chapter gold. Like everything in there's
Just
just
gold
gold.
leaf.
Because the boys would be like, "Oh hell yeah!"
That's the only Bible part of it.
Yeah,
where just
that's
the
what you should have
pages are
done.
leaf.
Just that little section
Just
is
a
gold.
close up of his erect dong.
And it's just him, like naked as fuck with bitches all
You
around.
know what? People are going to be
dick.
disappointed.
Any other questions?
People think it's going to be a bunch of tips and stuff. Really, mostly what I'm talking about is how the ego is the worst thing in the bedroom. Like when you come in with a big throbbing ego, that's the fucking biggest turnoff because that prevents you from communicating. That prevents you from identifying areas where you could get better, from like relaxing into the moment and just actually enjoing
Yeah,
it.
no
That's
doubt.
why before
this
I
comes
fuck-
from a guy with a fat dick. Though.
Before I fuck, I go, I'm a
Like,
piece of shit.
you don't have an ego if you have a huge dick. Like,
Sorry about
We're
this
the
dick.
dick squad over here, so it's not like I'm coming in like, oh, I hope this works out. Thank
There you
you.
go. Hey, I'm humble as shit. Now suck on this.
Oh, girl.
Hey, I'm a piece of shit. Now,
I
here you
usually
go.
don't do this. Icky goose.
I hate myself. Now suck. I hate
My
myself.
parents were mean. Icky goose.
My dad was never around. But here you go.
A bunch of stuff too on different foods you can eat because it comes after the dinner chapter. Different foods you can eat to enhance nitric oxide so that you have better
Give us
sexual
some. Give us
performance.
some.
Arugula, watermelon, beets, Swiss chard, dark chocolate, red wine.
That's a dope ass salad.
Fuck yeah, I actually have a salad in there called we called it the boner salad. I don't know if that made the final cut.
I call it dick salad.
Yeah.
No, I
Exactly.
look through your recipes. They're great.
Yeah.
I mean,
That sounds like a legit salad.
You have some of that to support it, and it'll help with any type of, nitric oxide controls the blood flow. So it's good for a pump, like those supplements, NO Explode. What they're talking about is releasing more nitric oxide so that your muscles can get that bigger pump.
That's
and you
why
can
it's
perform
illegal
better.
to take in combat sports.
Yeah, and
Sports
probably
in
you also
general.
don't want it. You'd
Oh, it
probably be
is?
too
I didn't know
swole
that.
if you were fighting.
Well, because it
in UFC.
enhances your blood flow, so you have better cardio if you take,
Yeah.
dick pills.
Yeah,
That's
and
one
then
reason it's illegal.
But for sex, it's the same thing. I mean, you have valves, capillaries that you want to open full. Whether you're a guy or a girl, the more
On both.
full and blood flow you have, the more circulation you have, the more pleasurable it's going to be. So it's a combination of like the mindset stuff with the physical stuff and what you can do just by like changing some of the foods you eat or ordering that beet salad. You're going to perform better.
Do
in bed.
this is embarrassing. It's a so amateur question, but they used to say like pineapple and stuff would make your cum taste better.
That's right. I've heard that too.
Have you
Yeah,
heard that, right?
I don't think that's. I don't
Did you
think there's a
research that?
No,
No?
I didn't.
No, I've heard that.
I think that's
heard
there's stuff like
I eat a
that
lot
that
of
you actually
pineapple.
go to the research and then you don't find anything.
Yeah, there's no. That's just
You have to go to
That's
field-
just like
you have to go
folklore.
field research.
Yeah.
That's why when I come, I go, here comes Hawaii. And I'm not just talking the map of Hawaii.
Who likes Hawaiian punch?
I smell like Hawaii.
And then there was the other counter thing that said like girls got in their head that tomatoes made their pussy smell bad.
Oh, really?
I've heard
Tomatoes
that before,
what?
but
What?
I don't think that's true either.
What's that? Tomatoes?
Tomatoes make your pussy smell bad.
No,
So I
it's
will
the
say this about
hummus.
tomatoes. So I'll say this about tomatoes. That's really fascinating. So they actually know for sure that. So the Italians, whenever they make tomato sauce, they take off the skin and they take the seeds out. Remember, tomatoes are not indigenous to Europe. They come from the New World. And for 200 years, the Italians didn't really eat tomatoes. And then along comes tomato sauce, but you take the skin off and you take the seeds out. My grandmother would do it and all that.
Takes forever.
Well, the reason for that is custom has a way of kind of reflecting. There's a scientific method to everything. The way you prepare food usually has some health benefits to it. So when the Peruvians make quinoa, they have a three-step
it.
process so you don't have the protein, the lectins, because some plants don't want to be eaten and they create protein. So all the sort of lectins, the proteins that your body doesn't like to absorb, are in the seeds and the skin of the tomato. So if you look at a lot of customs, they will roasting it, cooking it is very helpful. In
So why the
killing
fuck they
lectins.
around in America where there's tomatoes?
Because
skins and
Americans
seeds all
also
over
eat
it?
brown rice, and brown rice. If you look at the
Preach.
whole why
White rice,
why does
yeah.
all of China, all of Japan, all of the Middle East, everybody you can think of, all polish their rice? Nobody eats brown rice except for the Americans. What a surprise!
Yeah, we're also the only idiots who still have egg whites on the healthy menu.
How crazy
You know
is
what
that?
I mean?
They get rid of
That's
the yolk.
fucking insane.
Or low-fat yogurt or milk.
Oh, I freak out.
Me
I freak
too.
out when I see that.
Dude, my girl brought some home for my son. I was like, oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah, and
'Cause
it's
fat's
it's
not
still,
bad for
it's
you,
still
right?
commonplace.
Yeah.
It's absolutely.
It's
It's
a
not only not
bummer.
bad. It's absolutely necessary. And if you're not eating fat, you're probably fucking fat.
Yeah.
That's just the bottom line of it. And we obviously go into that in the book, and we've talked about
You do
that
a great
before.
job in the book with it.
But it's this crazy paradigm where we're unwinding all of this bullshit: the brown rice, the low fat. fat, the cholesterol
They
is
see
bad
the bro
for you,
science.
all of
They
this.
see the bro. It's kind of bro
It was
science.
like anti-bro science. It was like hippie science
Yeah.
or some crazy idea.
There's a really interesting, there's a book called Why We Get Fat and What to Do About It by Gary Taub, who's a journalist, a science journalist, and he actually traces the lineage about this. So in the world, it's really kind of fascinating. Before World War II, German scientists and Austrian scientists had come up with the idea that so much of weight gain was hormonal, and how you ate, the kind of calories you took in had a different hormonal response, right? So if you eat broccoli and protein, and you eat and some high fat, if you eat avocado, protein, and broccoli, your body is going to produce less insulin. This is a very rudimentary way, but you're not going to put on the kind of weight. Your body's going to run on fat instead of glucose. When that science was kind of squashed after World War II because it was German. And remember, after World War II, the German was synonymous with Nazi.
Yep.
So we didn't want to take their science. We didn't want to take a lot of their stuff. So a lot of American scientists were like, fuck that, man. We're going to come up with our own idea. And Ansel Keys and a couple of other people came up with this idea because he did a couple of like shoddy sort of studies with it's called the 7 Continent Studies. I don't know if you read about it, but looked at like people who were eating what was considered a low fat, high fiber diet, like Indian mill workers and stuff, and said they've got really low cholesterol and all that. Well, they were also eating very little. They were also eating a certain kind of food, and at the end of the day, it was not a very good study. But that ushered in the idea that you eat a high fiber, high carbohydrate, high fiber, low fat diet, and for years and even now. You know, that's how people try to lose weight. And the
food pyramid.
The USDA, the recommended way to lose weight is they'll tell a woman to have Special K, skim milk, a banana, and orange juice. And that's how you're supposed. That's your.
What
breakfast.
about your kids' lunch?
That spikes your insulin.
What about your kids' lunch?
totally.
Have you seen your? Maybe your school might be a little different.
No, I've seen it.
But I went to where my kid goes to school. There's older kids, and they were doing lunch. I go, oh, let me see one of their lunch. I'm like, oh my god, what are you guys
All sugar.
doing?
All sugar.
All sugar
Horrible.
carbs.
Yeah,
Horrible.
and the thing is, as soon as you build up that glycogen battery, like your body's stored as much, utilize as much sugar as you can, it just stores the rest as fat.
Yeah, that's my life.
It's like you're charging the battery, and as soon as it goes overcharged, I likened it to a phone. Like the sugar is like plugging in your phone, but you reach 100% really fast on sugar. Like you really don't need that much more. And then the longer you keep it plugged in, the more sugar you have, it just starts building fat like a giant phone case around your phone. And it's just more storage, and your body just stores it at fat, waiting and hoping for that one day where you stop that fucking sugar train and actually get to convert to ketosis and actually start using the fat that's on your body.
Have you found one diet or like, because it's even I've done, you name a diet, I've probably tried it. For me, it's tough to stick to one thing and to make it easy. You know what I'm saying? You look in great shape. I mean, you're always in good shape. You look like probably the best I've seen you.
Yeah, and what I've done is what I talk about in the book, which is keto from morning until dinner. And I'll get my workout in before dinner. So like pretty much all high fat, high fiber, high protein before dinner.
So
and
give us an example of what breakfast would be.
Bone broth, avocado. I love having like some broth because it gets some extra minerals in there too for breakfast. Because you're also, even though I recommend
had bone broth.
Never had bone broth. It's amazing. Collagen, protein, really high fat. You get this big thick layer of fat on there. You can season it up with a bunch of stuff. Some avocado. I'll make a smoothie, something. I don't really pay. Breakfast is not the most important meal of the day. It's probably the least important. Sometimes we'll just skip it all together and do that 8-hour feeding window.
Bit?
But yeah, I mean, generally, a little bit of broth as I'm going out the door, half an avocado, and then or a shake. And then for lunch, that's where I just get a much wider variety, like a big ass salad with a bunch of veggies and weird veggies and protein and fats and anything I can get. And then dinner, after I've trained, that's when my glycogen's going to be at the lowest. And that's also, I'll actually hold off. I won't like stuff myself because a lot of the information that's out there is for like bodybuilders. If you want to hit that anabolic window, all right, crush a fucking giant smoothie or something immediately after workout if you want to get big. But most of us don't need that. And the growth hormone response will actually be better if you wait. So I'll wait. I'll hit my workout. I'll go home. I'll have a glass of wine and like really connect and like drop in with wit. And then that one glass of wine, because my blood volume is lower, I'll get a little buzz from that. My liver won't have to filter out all that extra alcohol. So one glass of wine, I'm already feeling loose.
Dick game's
and
out.
then have,
I'm trying to follow.
I know. I was trying to follow too.
Man, don't say dick game is out.
No, I was trying to.
I mean, damn,
red wine is part of the nitric oxide.
This is science.
I know.
We're in science class, and I hear the fucking kid behind me is going, "Dick game's out." And it's just below the fucking frequency.
Well, bro,
dick game's out. What? What?
He's like, I get home and then I shut
like
down.
The Conjuring, where I hear
Rick connect.
Right,
I put on a robe. I take one glass of wine. We start getting a little tipsy. I'm like, yeah. I didn't even know I said that out loud.
His eyes got heavy.
I was like this. Yeah, and that dick coming out.
I mean,
I'm sorry, man.
You're waiting.
It happens
sometimes. So you have the wine. I'm so sorry.
Well, and then for dinner, I'll layer in the carbs because when I have carbohydrate at night, I actually sleep better. And there's some research behind that. So like staying in ketosis is great for mental clarity, but when I do want to shut it off, it's not the best
What
thing.
are the good carbs?
Yeah, what do you eat at
Carbs
night?
you want slower carbs, right? So you want to kill as much of those really fast, like quick starches that basically just absorb immediately. So some of the slower carbs, like sweet potatoes, are good. Anything with a higher fiber. And when it's mixed with fat, it all slows down. So when it comes to carbs, you just want to slow down the speed. So like processed flour is going to be super fast. Sugar is going to be super fast. And then grains like quinoa that you mentioned, like some of the potatoes.
So you're doing like a fish and like a sweet potato or something, or
Potatoes or
steak.
mashed potatoes. And, and if you're going to do bread, one of the best breads is sourdough because the actual dough gets fermented and it breaks down some of those anti-nutrients. We talk a bit about anti-nutrients in there that upset the stomach. And so you get a nice, loaf of sourdough bread, rip off a chunk, put some grass-fed butter.
You're not scared of carbs.
Not at night.
Are.
I mean, you
and
watch
at night. That's even more of a bro science thing because most bro science. Listen, all my friends are bros, so most of it's like if you can eat carbs, you do it during the day. So hopefully you burn them off that night. You go no carbs. Right. That's what everyone's
so this is kind of that carb backloading approach, which is looking at it differently. And so when your carbohydrates are the lowest, because you've been keto all day, you've been fasting all night, so you haven't had carbs for basically 24 hours. So you're on a 24-hour carb fast, plus you crushed a workout, and then you layer it back on, replenish yourself, and I'm not going wild, you know what I mean? Just kind of layering enough so that my system gets back to full, I calm back down, and then I just sleep much better, and I'm hella relaxed.
What if you work out in the morning, though?
If you work out in the morning, then you can still do the same thing. You don't need the carbs immediately.
Word.
The fats and the proteins and everything else will start to help your muscles and everything rebuild. I would still push it to the end. Though if you really if you went on a 3-hour uphill mountain bike ride, maybe you want some carbs. Unless you're fully keto converted.
Yeah.
Then at that point you might not need to.
What are the supplements you swear by? Again, all this stuff is in the book.
Yeah. Honestly, man, one of the biggest things you can do is not even worry about the supplements. Take the fucking free doctors. Here are the free doctors. Sunlight. Like, we got to get some sun. That's the best way to convert vitamin D in our body, and all of us are fucking deficient in vitamin D. It's like there's a reason we feel better when we're out at the beach. You got the negative ions from the water. You got the sun in the sky. You got all of these things kind of feeding you, nourishing your body. Water is another one. Exercise is a total miracle drug. Like, no matter what's wrong with you, exercise helps. If you're fat, if you're depressed, if you're anxious, if you want to live longer, it's a true miracle drug. And you don't have to go to a fancy-ass gym. Just move and exercise. Sex is another miracle drug, chronic pain, depression, all of these things. Take the minimum effective dose of these free things.
This is coming from a guy who owns a supplement company.
Yeah,
I love it.
Look at that first.
Yeah.
And sleep too. Sleep people have all fucked up. I talk about that in the book. Everybody's saying 8 uninterrupted hours of sleep. Well, fucking good luck. Yeah. It's like wishing for a 12-inch dick. Yeah. It's not going to happen for most of us.
Not left you.
What the fuck? I mean,
us. You got that short
12 inches.
But it puts all this fucking pressure, and then you feel bad if you don't get to sleep.
So you're saying 8 hours you don't...
So another way to look at it...
I had 2 last night.
Another way to look at it is what this guy Nick Littlehale talks about in his book Sleep. He talks about 30 to 35 sleep cycles a week, right? And a sleep cycle is about 90 minutes. Mm-hmm. And so you extend it out through an entire week, and naps, or a 30-minute nap, like a 30-minute, what he calls a controlled recovery period, count as 1 point on that. So 6 hours would be 4 sleep cycles. If you did that 7 days, then that's 28 sleep cycles, roughly, right? And then if you added in a couple naps, 3-4 naps throughout the week, then you're at 30, 32. You're right in the sweet spot.
I swear by naps.
Naps. When you look at the research,
the longest lived people,
they compared more overnight sleep with more coffee versus a nap for mental acuity, alertness, and how you felt. Naps win every time.
Really?
Fucking smash
100%.
coffee, smash more overnight sleep.
20-minute nap, longest lived people.
Have you ever heard of the coffee nap where you consume, and this might be bro science. You've heard of it?
Oh, yeah.
So you consume coffee, then you take a 20-minute nap. by the time you wake up, the coffee and all this is going to filter out, so you wake up energized.
So that's a problem for people who like, if you're one of those nappers, when you go down, you just start fucking drooling.
Groggy.
And you're going into like the super deep sleep
That'd be
cycles.
me.
Then you might want to do that because it'll keep you from going to those deep.
That's why they say
sleep
your
cycles.
nap should not be more than 30 minutes.
Right.
Because
No,
then you'll get
20,
into
I
a different.
thought, right? Wasn't it 20?
20,
20,
Russell
30.
Because if you get in
25.
that REM sleep, don't you wake up
Well,
more
the
groggy?
It's
REM
just that, like
sleep-
the 30 minutes, like the first 10 minutes, you might be tossing and turning, and then you'll get that 20, right? So
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, what you really want to do is prevent the really deep sleep cycles, interphase 1, interphase 2.
And interrupt
You actually
that.
wake up right after REM, typically in the sleep cycle. So even though it's at the end and it's really important, it's not the deepest. There's like deeper sleep cycles where you completely
How much sleep do you
blacked out.
get?
I'm on that kind of 6 hours ish.
6-ish, you're good,
And
right?
then, but I've been napping, and that's been fucking huge.
You
And
nap
I
in your
actually
office
put
or
on.
what?
I do. I have that little black couch there in the
That's
office,
nice.
and I put that, and I put on the headphones with those binaural beats that I have,
Yeah.
and it's just really soothing, and it helps, some brainwave entrainment. There's decent science behind it, but I know it fucking works for me.
It works for you?
And it's slightly missynced beats that create this kind of pulsing. It's almost like a trance. Like if you're
Yeah.
going to war, they had that drum. That was like,
Recovers. Yeah.
and it mirrors like kind of the brainwave states that you want to get to, like theta state or delta state, and it just kind of helps me relax enough where I'm not quite asleep, but I can feel my face start
Recharge.
to snore,
Yeah.
and I can like feel my hands get really warm, and occasionally I'll get a twitch. So it's that parasympathetic activation. And then when that song's over, I'm up, open my eyes, get a little sunlight, which then is another signal for alertness and awakeness. If I can, jump on a trampoline, kind of move around a little bit.
get your lymph
You
nodes
say,
flushed.
you say a trampoline?
Yeah, I have a little
Flush,
trampoline.
you flush your
Oh, in
nodes.
your backyard.
Flush your nodes,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
Flush your nodes.
Yeah. Because they say like in fighting or anything in football, they'd say, guys would have so many nerves. Mine weren't too bad, but the night before a fight, your nerves were so bad. But these sleep specialists used to always tell the fighters and all the pros, as long as you sleep that Thursday night before, because your sleep catches up with you, 2 days later.
Yeah.
So if you can't sleep on Friday, your body's gonna perform fine on Saturday. Sunday you're gonna be tired as shit, but Saturday you're gonna be good.
That's the difference between like
might be
people who are in
bro-science.
practice and people who are just going by the book and saying, "Oh, you need 8 hours." And then you talk to someone like Nick Littlehill who work with Manchester United, or you talk to someone
On
who works
sleep?
with actual Navy SEALs, or talk with someone who work with people like you, and they're like, "Yeah, actually, not really.
Yeah.
Actually,
there's
you
a
can catch
practice
up,
to it.
Yeah.
and like this is what's going to happen if you're actually kicking ass. Like this is much more reasonable protocol."
My daddy, he hates sleep because he's a workaholic like me, and he's like, "Oh, I'm just trying napping, not sleeping like for hours. I'm just gonna nap throughout the day, small naps." And like 3 days in, he was like basally a zombie. He was gonna die.
Yeah,
You gotta
that's one
get
of the
your
hardest.
sleep. You gotta
It's
get
one of the
your
hardest
sleep.
things
It was
to do.
hilarious.
My neighbor answered the door, and he he looked really down, and I said, "What's up?" And he goes, "I lost my job, man. I'm and I'm really, really scared and worried." And he was really down. And I said to him,
buy his house?
I talked to him about some stuff, some ideas like techniques that I have that have worked for me about just kind of mindset, and he was getting it. And then I said, "And can I just give you something?" I said, "You should try to work out. Start working out." And I swear to God, like, I don't care if it's 20 minutes, but I could tell his body, he doesn't do a lot of that. I said, "I promise you, not only will you feel better, but you'll be able to kind of be able to think straight." And it was so interesting how he looked at me like I was a crazy person.
Right.
Because it sounded like
How
I
old
was
is he?
being, he's probably 45.
And lost his job.
Yeah. And I was like, and he just looked
Meet
at me
our
like
new
I was
intern,
crazy.
Gary. He comes through. Gary.
I kind of thought that. I literally was like, I wish I
no.
offer him a job. Meet our new intern, Gary.
Look at that. It's Gary. I hired him on my own. He DM'd me. Gary's 45, doesn't know what a podcast is, but he's our new intern.
Never exercised.
Doesn't exercise. Never even heard of
Makes
this
a
show.
difference, though. It makes a fucking difference.
Such a difference. It's funny you mentioned your dad was a workaholic, and I have a chapter in there about work and work efficiency, and I was reading and doing some research, and in Japanese culture, there's this phenomenon called Karoshi, which is a form of honorable suicide where you work so hard that you die at your desk.
I'm about another day from that. Yeah, I'm close.
Which, by the way, is a phenomenon in Japan.
Yeah.
Where a businessman at 45, a businessman at 45 will just fall dead. And it's like, oh, he was not sleeping ever, and he was working and smoking and drinking and doing everything he could to stay awake. And then he
and
just
to show
died.
his commitment to the company,
Yes.
to show his honor. Like,
Where the fuck are those employees? Am I right?
Hey,
Look at
Karoshi.
Chin. Chin's exhausted.
he's Korean. He's not Japanese.
I
Brendan.
know, but even Koreans
Never
get
made-
down.
Koreans-
His workout ethic's incredible.
Koreans will work you.
We need a
will
Japanese
outwork
dude.
you.
I need
Koreans
a stone cold
Koreans might be
Japanese.
the toughest motherfuckers on the planet. That's why
Well,
boxing.
I want to get a Japanese guy in here and see what happens.
Jim might unleash his Han energy on me, and then I might die.
No, or they just it creates this rivalry, and they're trying to outwork each other, and they're here 24/7.
And then they both die like a double KO.
Yeah, they both just they're just double homicide.
Chin died.
Jin died.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
I got
Karoshi.
Karoshi.
I got to do better with that. I talked to you. I talked to Rogan about it a little bit, and he was always like, dude, just take Sundays off, because I did a Sunday show last night. You always say take Sundays off, too. So is Joey Diaz. But I booked one, and it's been a nightmare. I can pull it off. My podcast force is great. Shoot my show tomorrow. This has been great, but it's a lot, man. It's a lot.
But finish your thought on, you were saying
About Japanese
on
people
work,
dying.
on work.
Yeah.
Well, it's just a sign that things are wildly out of balance. Like any time that you get, workaholic, like we put that on a pedestal. But again, that's a sign that something internally is off. Like that's not a day you want to repeat over and over again. It's a day where all you do is work. And I think that's a big message of this thing is like, you want to live a life because all there is the days of your life. Like there's no end point. There's no fucking goal you're working towards. There's not this thing. There's just the process all the way through. And when you get way out of balance, then things like that happen. And you see these phenomenons. Like they're clearly not taking enough time to really enjoy their family, enjoy sex, enjoy food, enjoy like laughter, enjoy playing music, enjoy doing whatever it is that makes us actually human. And they've become this kind of robotic work machine type of mentality, as if they're doing it for honor or doing it for some other purpose.
I think the biggest problem is that nobody even knows why they're doing it. I think people are so disoriented.
Exactly.
And trying to find meaning or purpose or even community is
that Theo?
is impossible. It's something has happened where, and you hear people use the word consumerism and stuff like that.
Sorry about that.
You hear that. I think there's a lot of truth to that. I think efficiency, abundance. Yes, Walmart does save the average family something like $2,500 a year. Okay, at what cost?
Yeah.
What if you love your work though? Some people love to work or live to work.
It's great.
It's just, and that's fucking great, and enjoy that, but also like take a look and see and make sure that you're not missing the other things that you really enjoy. Because typically when I'm the most enthusiastic about my life overall, it's not the amount of time that I'm working. I just do everything better. I'm inspired when I do it after I have a great night out with Whit or a great night with my friends, or I connect with somebody over lunch. Then I leave and I'm triple the human being that I was before.
You're a better
at my
worker.
work.
Yeah.
And a lot of people like, oh, I can't go floating. I don't have the time. I'm like, trust me, man, go floating and you'll come back and you'll be like fucking Batman for the next 6 hours afterwards because you'll have so much energy.
You like the float tank?
I do. I like the float tank. I like the naps. I like ecstatic dance. I like yoga. I do all the things.
I love yoga. The float tanks, we tried it in San Francisco.
Why are you laughing, Brendan?
It's hard for me. I jacked off in that float tank.
That's right. And I was like,
good filtration
I was like,
system.
God damn it. Dude. God damn it that you jerked off. And then I thought everybody has except for me. I was laying in a fucking, in a salt cum soup. I'll never go into one of those private.
He gets in that amniotic fluid.
It's all warm.
That little baby boner, big brown baby boner.
Water just kept hitting me. I'm like, what is happening? I don't know.
The womb.
It was nice. I don't know. It was nice. I'm not crazy about it like you and Rogan. I don't know. Maybe I just need to do it more. Or...
It's just a great way where you literally have nothing to do. Like you have to
it's hard
relax.
to shut your brain off.
I think what you're saying in
relax.
this book is what I got from the book also is that being healthy is actually not that hard.
No,
I mean it's not. It's not. It sounds like you're.
It's easier said than done. It can be hard for some people.
It looks like there's a lot of steps, but you can get to a point where being healthy is actually more about what you don't do versus what you do. Too,
and it's just it's really small choices.
Yeah,
like it's little, very small conscious choice. Like not one thing in there is hard. I'm not saying you have to go run this mountain. I'm not saying you have to go fast for this amount of time or do anything. Every little thing is, okay, wake up, put a little sea salt in your water, have a little splash of lemon, drink that first. That's not hard. Get a little sunlight, set your circadian rhythm. That's not hard.
Yep.
Get a little movement, walk around with your dog, do some push-ups, whatever. That's not hard. Every single step along the way. Take the shower nozzle from hot to cold. Just turn it and just get a little cold water on your body. That's going to increase norepinephrine. That's going to drop your chronic stress. It's going to drop your anxiety.
Do that.
That's going to release adrenaline if you hold your breath is one of the practices in there. That's not hard either. And then all of a sudden, all these wins start to accumulate. What's hard is looking at, here I am, fat, unhealthy, unhappy, and I got to get to there, superhuman, super happy, super
It's like
healthy.
climbing Everest.
Yeah, and it's
makes
just
you depressed,
overwhelming.
too. How you eat and what your gut is doing, they're finding more and more, has a lot to do with like your mental state. It can actually cause depression.
Dude, when I'm stressed, it's off the hinges.
And then you
or
overeat.
if I'm low on sleep.
Oh, yeah.
Like I have this meal company now. When I'm on the road, it's tough. But on the road, it happens because you're not getting a lot of sleep. You're going from next city to next city, and there's like, fuck, I just need calories. I need to eat something. Then you make bad decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah, and know too that it's not black or white. We have this Start Fresh Monday. We have like, if you're halfway through the chocolate cake and you push it away, that's a fucking win. Like, take that W. If you're eating a donut and you leave a bite for the gods and throw that that's a win.
I call it quitting, but yeah.
Yeah. But like, take any little win and like working out, going for a walk, like doing a little something, that counts. Like every little bit incrementally counts.
Yeah, I think learning how to talk to yourself at 51 now. Like, I think if there's anything I would say to younger people, it's always like, learn how to talk to yourself in a positive way, because it's really easy to talk to yourself in a shitty way. Because, I don't know that we're even wired or evolved to like ourselves that much. And there is a lot of benefit maybe in sort of like expect. So you can hope for the worst or you can hope for the best or prepare for the worst. Sometimes preparing for the worst in life is not a bad thing.
I think it's
keeps
good
you
to be
critical.
hard on yourself.
It is, but
I don't know anyone who's killing it. It's like,
hard on yourself is one thing, but learning how to talk to yourself in a positive way so that it spurs you to further action to continue to grow.
Mm-hmm.
But we do a lot of times, we go, I'm a piece of shit, I failed, I suck, and we sit in
you
that.
don't wanna do that.
That's not a good
Because then you think you deserve to suck. And that's, I think deserving, that's the final thing that I close with is, if you keep telling yourself a piece of shit, we have this internal justice system where we're doling out rewards and punishment. And if you keep telling yourself you're a piece of shit, then you're going to deserve what a piece of shit deserves.
Correct.
But if you say, man, I got a long way to go, but I'm fucking hustling, I'm trying, then you'll feel like, man, I deserve this.
Well, that's where the haters come
better.
from. That's where, like, on the internet, sometimes if you get a hater or a troll or something like that, every now and then I'll go, dude, what are you doing, man? Don't be a troll. Especially if they have a kid, I'll go, you have a son, man.
Yes.
You don't want to be that guy. And they'll usually respond back, dude, sorry, man, my life sucks. I want to try stand up. I see you doing it. I'm like, I have nothing to do with your happiness, man. Mm-hmm. It's not me. You're mad at me because you're not taking the risk. Just go do it, man.
One of the most profound things I never spent any time in therapy, but I was in acting class for, I don't know, let's call it 13 years.
Now, when you're in therapy, right?
Oh my God. And an acting teacher on the level that I had, some of the best in the world, they've been doing it for 30, 40 years. So they are masters at psychology, and they're masters at reading human behavior. And one of the things that I had an acting teacher say to me, which was, I never forgot, he said, man, I'll tell you what's really hard for people is to allow themselves, like give themselves permission to even to own anything, to have, to think to themselves, maybe I deserve, like this is a huge one. Just to say to yourself, maybe I deserve a little something for myself. Salma Hayek lectured my friend who's an actress, and Salma said, it was when she was killing it, she goes, you have to start telling yourself that you deserve something because you're not saying that to yourself. And she goes, my biggest secret is that a long time ago, I decided, why not me? Why don't I deserve it? You can get a little hoity-toity with this shit, but
I have a problem with that
hard.
because I'm like, I deserve to eat this donut. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I just mean
I deserve to buy these Gucci boots. I deserve this Porsche.
You know what, though?
It gets crazy.
There's something to that, though, because it kind of like you're valuing yourself.
Yeah.
But, when you buy yourself a gift, and I've seen you do it, like, you have a lot of self-esteem. There's a certain pride to saying, you know what, I'm going to look good. I'm going to try to look good. I'm going to dress well. That's a big step. Like when you buy a car with leather seats. It's funny you say this because my acting teacher used to fucking say it. He'd go, you get in a car, huh? Why are you driving that piece of shit? Why don't you buy a car with leather seats? Well, I can't afford it. figure it out, decide that you can. It sounds like, well, careful now, don't get yourself broke. But there is a mindset. There is something of value to say, you know what?
Yep.
I feel good in this car. I feel like I did something nice to myself. I did something. I celebrated something.
No doubt. And I think there is that fine line between entitlement, feeling like you deserve it, even though you're not doing it. Like that hater you mentioned where like, I deserve to be up there on stage, but they're not doing the work.
Yeah.
You know, like all you can really ever take ownership of is the process. Like the outcome of your success is not within your control, but like, did you do the things? Did you, like I said at the start, like, did you pay the blood price? Like I had a million chances to turn this over to an editor and like not read it. And there was times when there was like,
so disappointed
there was literally a naked pool party going on at my house with the girls and they were drinking wine and I had a deadline and I just watched the whole day go by. Every once in a while, peeking out and just fucking worked on the book.
Wrote the book, jacked off.
Maybe.
Brendan, he's right.
But like
he's right.
That moment,
God damn it, Brendan.
Like that.
Sorry, Aubrey.
That moment was like I had a choice. Like I could have easily said, "All right, editors, you guys figure this out. I don't need to reread this book. It was my 6th time." I was like, "No."
I got a Snoop Dogg video.
And it was almost
waiting
like
for
the
me
universe
downstairs.
was, the universe was testing me. And then now when I give this book to people, I can like look them in the eye and say, yeah, it's the best fucking book I could do. And I was tested, you know, like I had the opportunity to not do that, but I didn't.
But I think a lot of
book.
People, I think a lot of people won't write a book or won't do this or won't try this or won't start a podcast or won't whatever, name it, whatever they want to do because they're scared to fail. You know what I'm saying? They're super scared to fail because that's their biggest fear. Like I had this gentleman at maybe Tampa or maybe it was Orlando. He goes, dude, all my friends tell me I should do stand-up, and I'm the same age as you, and I see you doing it. I went to one open mic, and it was just horrible, man. I froze and got off.
It's the first time.
Yeah, it's the first time, so that's pretty normal. But then it actually airs tonight. This just reminded me of the Gary Shandling documentary on HBO that Judd Apatow did. Mm-hmm. But they posted Gary Shandling had a diary that he'd write in. He'd go to therapy, he'd be writing these things, and he hated himself. But he's talking about how his process and how he would have so much stage fright. This is Gary Shandling, one of the greatest of all time, Mount Rushmore, right? And he would write on there how he would have all this stage fright and all these negative thoughts, but if he prepared right, he deserved it. You know what I'm saying? Like he would, and the reason why he was scared to get on stage is because he was worried what people were going to say or think about him all the time.
Yeah,
he's always scared that what if this, what if this, what if this, and then you see he draws the line underneath this journey. He goes, forget that, man. If I put in the work, it's going to go good. Who cares what they do?
And it goes out to piggyback.
But it's the same thing with that kid. I told him, I said, he goes, what'd you do for your first one? And I said, my situation has been different. Meaning that when my first time I did stand up, I had Brian Callen, I had Chris D'Elia, Joe Rogan all in the front row. But by the time I did that set, I've done it, I don't know, 500 times in my bathroom. So I know it might it's not gonna be on a special of Netflix. But for that time,
you rehearsed.
I knew even if I was nervous as fuck,
you did what you
it was
could. At
least going to be the 5 minutes that I was supposed to do.
You could lean back on the process.
Like I know if my set I'm doing now, if there was a gun going off, if someone released doves, if these people are talking, if this dude's jacking off in the corner, whatever, I can get through this set because I've rehearsed it so many times. I'm so disciplined on it, that stuff won't bother me.
And it goes back to what you were saying when you're afraid of failure. Well, it goes back to the process. It's like, what are you trying to accomplish? You know, just the doing of it, just taking action and learning something. And by the way, there is no such thing as doing anything in the beginning when you don't suck. Everything you're going to suck always. That's not even the point. The point is you took action. The point is you're in the process of doing something, and the doing of it and the reach is there again. I think we all would agree. At least I would agree. I would say that I don't think there is any such thing as getting there. I don't even believe in celebrity.
There's no there.
I don't think there's any there.
No there.
I don't.
There's
I'm a successful guy. I have people come up to me and say, "You're, blah 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 blah."
Well, that's all relative.
Well, I don't feel successful at all. I got a lot more work to do, and it's
all relative.
It's all relative. So failure. What are you trying to accomplish? I would say.
But I don't know why you'd be scared. Scared of what? Of your friends, like.
Because you get defined by people.
That's so weird to me. Someone. I get this question all the time. They go, "Man, would you rather be the heavyweight champion of the UFC or have a comedy special?" I went, I can say this full-heartedly. Again, a comedy special would be my end-all, be-all. And he's like, "What? Aren't you worried what people would say if it airs?" I'm like, "What do I care, man? I'm not. I don't. Who cares what people would say?
It's not the point.
Who would make? I don't know.
You don't define yourself
even
on
if
that.
the special fucking sucked. Yeah, Rogan and Glee, and you guys might make fun of me. But you're not make fun of me for in the process of trying to do
Why? Because
one.
you did everything you could to try to like express yourself for an hour, the hardest thing in the world, and you did it. It's
like
this
no
book
one's gonna
where
give you shit
he
if your
said
book sucks balls.
Aubrey,
You know what I'm saying?
well, yeah, I read the book because Aubrey. All I had. You know why I read the book right away? It had nothing to do with. I've read a lot of these books. I've been following nutrition, all that, but. The way you said something in a note, which was, "Hey, this is the best I can do. I like blood. This is my blood in this." And I went, "This motherfucker put everything into it. That's an effort. I really appreciate effort."
Thank you, brother.
You know, and so of course I was going to read it.
And that's when people ask me about the expectations about it. Like, it takes so much of the pressure off because I know that I've done everything I could, and you can just really rely on that. Just doing your best is all you can do. And having that background, like people look at Conor McGregor, right? He has this amazing belief when he goes in the ring. He's giving us the secret to his belief all the time. What do you say all the time? Hard work.
Yep.
Hard work.
That's what he said to us on the podcast.
You know, fucking hard work. Because and whether this is true or not, but he believes he works harder than everybody out there. And I'm sure he works super hard.
He thinks he works different.
You know, he works harder, he works smarter. And so he knows that he's done everything that he could in his mind to make him the best Conor McGregor possible. So he can go in there all fucking millionaire strut.
You sense it though,
all
too.
Loose. And other people are like, did I do everything I could?
know.
I don't know if I did everything I could. And he's like, I did everything I could, motherfucker. And
I'm
you're going to
ready.
get KO'd. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. And that's all you can do is win those little battles. Know that you laid it out there, and fuck, if you get slain, if this book gets fucking shredded and it doesn't do any good, like I'm going out on my shield.
So what do you say?
We'll be the shields on New York Times.
But let's just take times like there are a lot of days where you just don't feel like doing shit, right?
Yeah.
So how do you talk to yourself?
The thing that's been great is the small little battle in the morning with the shower nozzle, because I always take a shower in the morning, or now I've been swimming laps. But winning versus comfort versus the cold, because I know for 100% certainty the cold makes me feel better, helps my body, helps my mind,
I love it.
helps everything. So if I can just, no matter how shitty I feel, no matter how down I feel, because I do vary a lot. I'm not like supercharged every day. But when I win that first battle, I'm like, okay, I'm stronger than this shit. I'm stronger than my urge for comfort. I'm stronger
leads to
than
another
excuses.
one, right? Leads to another
it does,
one,
man. It does. And that these little tiny wins. You know, when I want to listen to some, shitty music and instead I put on a funny podcast where I know I'm going to laugh. Even if I don't feel like I deserve to laugh, I'll put that thing on and I'll be like, all right, this is the small little victory. Yep. So I shrink the sample size. Like that's, I think, the key to getting out of any of this stuff.
One little
baby thing.
Just step in the right direction.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. Like just one tiny thing, even if it's 5 minutes, start with that. Like go swing a kettlebell for literally 5 minutes, whatever it might be.
Well, I did the other day, then I'm glad you brought this up. The other day, I pulled up to the gym and I sat in my car and then I just left.
But you have no problem with discipline, bro.
No, I'm just.
But I mean, some days.
I was just. I haven't had a day off in I don't know how long. I got to the gym like I do every morning. It's my routine, and I was like, God, man, I'm sick of this shit. Meaning, like, I just need to switch it up. I need something that's going to challenge me. Like, if it's not challenging me, I'm going through the motions. I don't like to do it.
Jiu-jitsu or MMA,
right? So I've been working out since what, 5th grade.
Yeah.
I take somebody.
Maybe you needed a break. Actually,
I think.
I literally got there. I looked around like no one's even.
You know what I think? You know what I think you should do?
Went to the gym.
I mean, I'm being dead serious, and I've said this to you a long time ago, and I couldn't be more serious.
Remember, I don't have a lot of time.
Yep. I think
you say
personally,
dance.
I think you should be, this is going to sound crazy, I think you should be taking singing and dance lessons.
But it takes too much time. I got to work out in the morning. I got to get everything flowing.
Yeah. Again, I'm going to say it again. I know. I understand. I hear you 100%. Couldn't be more busy. I think you should be taking singing and dance lessons. And I think, and I don't think, I know, in 1 year, the difference in everything performance-wise and even writing-wise will be night and day.
And
That's just me.
Yeah, you can
I
do
don't
it
know
small.
anything.
Do
but
it
that's
small.
just me.
Get a YouTube. You know, like just like do some basic shit. You know, just
It's a weird
get, like,
thing to
the
say,
basic
right?
salsa
No, weird
stuff.
thing to
I have
say?
no problem doing that. I don't know where I find the time to commit to that. I'm just saying, as far as
You can have somebody come to your house and just give you
physical
a
activity.
half hour?
Like I have to get
Yep.
something to get my body going.
So yeah, but so
you know, like that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm down for that.
Yeah.
I'm saying as far as like boxing doesn't. I've been doing it forever,
Yeah.
right? Lifting weights, certain way I do. I've been doing it forever. Like literally, like I text my buddy Klopp, who he was in the NFL. Me and him pop wanted football together. I text, and he's the most big, strongest you've seen. Klopp. He's the absolute
Superhero.
Superhero.
True
Looks like
superhero.
Thor. If there's a real life Thor, it's him.
Yeah, for real.
And
He
I
makes
text
The
him-
Rock look.
I text, The Rock,
real.
like, Jesus. So I text him, I go, hey, man, you ever get to the gym and just be like, fuck this? He goes, dude, I haven't worked out in 4 months.
Yeah.
He goes,
Yeah,
we've been working out since 5th grade, man.
That's it. Well, you need to
And
change
now
it
if I
up.
miss it, because you're conditioned to that, when I miss, I'm like, oh my God, what did I do?
Yeah, I think just varying it up. Go outside. Go for like, and that's part of the issue of being out here. But like, go for a little beach run. Like,
Yeah.
do something.
A hike.
Do something weird. You know, like get out of like. Really, it doesn't matter exactly what you do as long as you're doing something. Like as long as you're getting that minimum effective amount
you
in
do
there.
something.
Like I've been swimming way more, and sometimes that'll be the only thing I'll do in the day is just hit 30, 40 laps in my little pool. And
That's a great workout.
And then and it doesn't even really feel like a workout. I'm getting cold, I'm getting movement. And then if I work out again later, bonus. Great.
Yeah.
You know?
You know what I did? I got one of those Peloton bikes. It literally gets delivered Wednesday.
Nice.
I've never even been on one. I was just like, man, if, because like days today, tomorrow when I shoot, my call time's at 7 a.m. So if I wake up, I can't get to the gym. The gym's not open that early. So I figure I could just go downstairs, knock out that class, maybe it'll wake me up and then go.
For the record, a voice class would take you 1 day a week, and then the rest you would do it in your car, and you would just work on your voice in the car with vocal exercises, and then you would sing a song. Okay, so for the record, as you're driving, you would do that for a half hour a day.
That's not bad.
Okay, and as far as dance is concerned, and I'll do it with you.
I can dance.
and I'll do it with you.
I can dance,
and I'll
but
do it
I'll
with you.
teach the class. But whatever.
You will.
I'll teach the class.
You will, and that would be maybe twice a week, and the rest
There's no
is just
way.
practice.
There's no way.
There is, and you can do it.
I think
Once a week.
you're in this unique
Once a week.
spot where you have such a base and like you're so far down the line. Like probably most of the people listening are just trying to get that first fucking movement.
Yeah, don't sign up for singing lessons.
of any sort.
Yeah.
That first
But
thing,
anything,
like
right?
across.
Learn how to play 10 songs on the guitar. It's remarkably easy. My son's taking the guitar. I was like, oh, I can see that.
That's on my bucket
And so
list.
break
I
that
love
down to like one chord. You know, like for
Yeah.
me, my first instrument was this flute, and I was terrible at it. And I just eventually you string a couple notes.
Damn, dog, you
like take
picked
the
the flute?
expectation. Yeah, take
It's a
the
flautist.
expectation.
Pan played the flute. Bring up Pan, please. He played the flute with his huge
Yes.
cock in the forest.
Half goat.
It's how he would bring
A satyr,
He would
if
bring
you will.
a satyr. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
It's how he would bring women in. Keep going with the flute, please, sir. I'm listening to you.
Well, I thought
Aubrey
I thought I was like
Marcus.
definitely wasn't one of those long ones with all the.
Yeah, no, he played a. Oh, there he
Oh
is.
yeah, the little
thing's
double.
evil.
The little,
Yeah, dude, look at his cock. Take a look at
What
his
the
cock.
fuck?
he's constantly hard.
You haven't seen Pan, Forest God?
No.
Oh, he's got a dick on him, bro. Always had a dick. He's
not
got
there.
the hindquarters of a
no,
goat.
wait, that guy in the fucking Robin Hood costume.
Yeah, that guy.
That guy
would scare the
has-
shit
does
out of me.
not
in the
have the
forest.
pan dick.
No.
Can you imagine seeing him in the forest? I'd be like, oh,
I'd
you're going to
freak
kill
the
me.
fuck out. Oh, you're gonna wear my face as a mask. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
I got to meet Marcus Luttrell, which was dope, and he told
Doing
me
a
that.
podcast with him.
Yeah, oh, you guys are.
Yeah, he has his
Man.
podcast with the Frogman guy.
Yeah.
So his partner,
David
I don't mean to
Rutherford.
interrupt you. So he came to my show in Palm Beach, and this is funny because I haven't seen him since. I didn't know who they. This is gonna sound bad. I didn't know who they. I didn't know David Luttrell was the lone survivor guy.
Marcus Luttrell.
Marcus Luttrell.
Yeah.
David Luttrell was a football player, but they're there. Geez, he looks normal there. So he wow,
Big boy.
okay.
That's a big boy.
He's
He
big.
don't look traumatized at all. So the thing is they wanted me to do this podcast through Lex, Lex McMahon, and they asked me to do it, and I was so busy, man, and I kind of blew him off. I was like, oh, I'll do it, and then I haven't seen or talked to him since, and then they came to the show, and Lex like, oh, meet my friends, and they're like, these are the Navy SEALs you blew off. I was like, oh, fuck. But anyways, great dudes,
Yeah,
man.
David's great. Marcus is great. But that story he tells about, and it was in the movie, I think.
Lone
I don't remember,
Survivor.
Lone Survivor. when he's all shot up and all of his friends have died and he's thrown himself off multiple cliffs and he's just broken everywhere and he has to crawl out, like an unimaginable amount of distance on his elbows, and like the process that he went through to do that, he literally pushed his arm as far out as he could in the dirt and drew a line in the dirt. And then he said, all I got to do is cross that line. And he crawled his broken ass, wounded body bleeding to that line.
Damn.
And then he stretched his arm out again and he made another line in the dirt. And he crawled his way through there. Like that's what we have to do. Like if he can do that, even then he knew as a Navy SEAL, one of the toughest men in the world, he would quit if he thought about that he had to go a mile. But if all he had to think about was, oh man, I just got to get these 2 feet where I drew this line. I can do that. I just got to get these next 2 feet.
Yeah, he didn't look, I got to make to that house. He's
no,
boom,
just
boom,
like
boom.
this little thing.
That movie was nuts.
Look at those guys.
Did you have them on your podcast?
I went on their podcast, the Team Never Quit podcast.
Yeah, Team Never Quit.
Out at his ranch, we shot some shit. It was fun. Shooting guns with Navy SEALs
they're badasses, man.
It's awesome.
It's a language for them.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, they were throwing shit in the pond and we were blasting it. And
Such a crazy story, man.
Yeah, it was crazy. But that's it. Just that one next little fucking thing.
That's where we started with the book.
That's all you got to do.
That's where we started with the book.
Yeah. That next little fucking thing.
I think a lot of times, I wrestle with the idea of defining myself in a certain way, and I've tried to write a script many, many times. So after a while, you go, I'm not a writer. And it's really easy to fall into that, and then you talk to writers and they go, oh, you're just doing it wrong. Try this. And then you get a little closer to it. But it's really hard to not define yourself, especially as you get older and especially as people know you as a certain thing. Sometimes the people that are around you are really good at defining you and keeping you within certain.
Yeah, you got to give up all that shit. You got to surrender all your claim to who you think you are and just be like, I am. I fucking am. Yeah. And I'm going to do stuff. And I'm going to do stuff. I am, and I'm going to do stuff. Like that's all. Oh, and I'm going to be bad at it
in the beginning.
Yeah,
in the beginning, I'm going to be bad at it. I love Rogan's thing, conquer your inner bitch.
Yeah,
I've always liked that because I'm going to be bad at it. But Rogan's secret, I'll tell you his secret right now. All Rogan does is this: he goes, all right, I want to be good at archery, or I want to be good at running, or I want to be good at jiu-jitsu. I'm going to show up every day. I'm going to suck. I know I'm going to suck for the first year, maybe 4 months. I don't know what it is. I'm going to suck. But the difference between everybody else and me is I'll be there every day. Maybe it'll be a half hour. It might be an hour. But I'll be there every day. Just consistency. And you just get better.
Yeah. You don't identify with any of the external things. You're not an archer right off the bat. Of course you're not an archer. You're not a comic before you've ever gone on stage. No. You're not any of these things that you want to be. You are, and you do stuff. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's it. It's fucking super simple. You give up the rest. Yeah. Just give it all away. Somebody pushed something on you. Oh, thanks for that compliment. Thanks for calling me this.
But you're talking about play. Schiller, my favorite thing is Schiller said, man is never more himself than when at play. And play is not hookers and a speedball. Play is the thing you do for the sake of its own doing. Like the thing you do for free anyway. There's something fucking really fun about getting good at something, even if it's tiny little increments every day.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Speaking of getting good, Chin, you got some current events?
Yeah.
Chin's good at finding current events.
Current events.
We're bringing a Japanese man so you guys can battle it out.
No.
Current events. He'll beat the fuck out of a Japanese.
You hate Japanese people, Chin?
I don't hate them.
Hey, is it racist if I call them Japs?
Yes, it is.
Yes, that's racist, is it?
Well, Japs
is there a racist name for Koreans?
Was a term that was used. Japs was a term that was used in World War II.
Well, they are our enemies, so it's kind of like...
Yeah. It's better to just say Japanese.
Japanese, right? Yeah.
Because the majority of
But Jews isn't offensive, right?
No, if you're a Jew, that's fine. Depends if
I know, I'm just saying, but you can say Jew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you were to say, are you a Jew? It depends on how you say it.
But you can't Jap in any context. It's frowned upon.
Yeah. A Jew. I'm a Jew. I'm Jewish.
No, I get it. No, I'm just saying.
But when you say he's a Jew, there's been so much anti-Semitism.
Oh, I know.
It's always used that way.
It's all in context.
What do you mean, so anytime you separate somebody.
Like he's a cracker.
He's a cracker.
You're a honky-ass cracker, Cal.
You're a cracker motherfucker.
Cracker doesn't bother me. And you know what cracker stems from?
No.
Do you know what it stems from?
No.
Crackers, not because we're white like crackers. Black people call crackers, they'd call that the slave owners because they would call them crackers when they'd slap them with the whip, it'd crack. So they call them crackers.
I heard a different...
Any other brain fucking busters?
I actually heard a different...
Your book club. Hey, Hunter Mott.
I heard a different definition for it.
For cracker?
Yeah.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, I heard something different.
They call them crackers.
No,
from the cracking.
I think it's a little bit different.
I think that's right.
I think you're going to find a different reason for it. Let's take a look here.
Cracking.
I think you're going to need to use it as a slur. Search as a slur.
Oh, the secret history of the word cracker. Go back.
Is this one right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
No.
No, go back, Chin. That's like I love Ritz crackers.
Urban Dictionary.
I would go back. I'd go back.
That's the source.
I'd go back one more, and then go down to the secret history of the word cracker.
This one, right?
Is that what you clicked on?
Yeah.
Urban Dictionary is hilarious because you can Google anybody's name and it's something horrible.
I think it actually was somebody's name. I
don't think so. They said it was the cracking from the whips
Maybe.
on the slaves.
Cracker.
So they called them
that
crackers.
makes sense. But I heard a different thing.
Poor whites.
Shortened
So
version.
poor white people couldn't afford food? That's one of them?
It is suspected that it was a shortened version of whip cracker since the manual labor they did involved driving livestock with a whip.
It's the whipping of the crack. Whether
Cracker was
crackers.
used. Yeah, it had to do with the people from the south who had come from Ulster in the north of England. I know that. Let me see. Maybe further. Yeah, it goes back to the 17th century. So this is an English thing. The meaning of the word has changed a lot over the last 4 centuries. Florida historian and anthropologist studies crackers. There's a book written called Cracker, actually. There's a book called Cracker.
It doesn't land though, to your point, Brendan.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody ever gets that stressed because we don't even know what the fuck it means.
There's like no bad word for white people. Is there?
Is it
I guess if you-
bad because it's full of carbs?
if you're white male, it's
I don't know.
tough these days.
You're not a white male. You're Spanish, so get away from me.
Hey, I shaved immediately after that video. I sent Dalia and Callan a video of me because they make fun of me. They call me a road pup. Road dog, bitch.
man.
I've been driving all over Alligator Alley by myself.
I know.
600 miles?
You're doing well. You're not, I'm
my
not
God.
giving you your fucking black belt yet.
No, I don't want a black belt.
Well, but I mean, that's what a road dog gets.
All right. Definitely not black belt.
Yeah,
but,
so you getting, you're bigger puppy.
you know what?
What?
We're road hound.
No.
Road hound?
No, I'm sorry.
I'm like a hound dog.
I'm not giving you that.
Ain't nothing but.
Ain't nothing but a hound
No,
dog.
but you did drive Alligator Alley. You're driving. You're out there.
On E. I was on E.
You're out there.
All right.
You're out there, and I'm happy. I'm proud.
6 shows?
I'm proud. There's a lot of shows.
All right.
Sunday too. Putting in your bones.
Road hound.
No, don't say that. No.
No, I'm road hound.
Can't
I don't
do
know
it.
how we get started. Where was it? I don't know where I was
No,
going.
you're
with
talking
this
about when you shaved because I basically.
Oh, I sent Brian and Delia a video of me like listening to some Drake music, and I was driving in the car headed wherever. I went road dog, and then Brian goes. They don't even comment on the video. Brian goes, bro. You're Spanish, right? And because I didn't shave and I had like this thick, like black beard, I looked down like I look 100% Puerto Rican right now.
I've never seen it like it.
I could not. It was the first thing I did. I checked in and went straight to the fucking mirror and shaved, man.
Yeah,
I looked so Hispanic.
You look like the guy from the cartoon. I was like,
I don't know.
Was it the copycat brown pride tattoo?
Dude, I look bad. Yeah, I look bad, man. I look like
the craziest
I look
thing I've
like
ever seen.
fresh off the boat, got out of Cuba. It was.
I grew out the Jew beard recently. That was
you
interesting.
can
It's all
grow a
scraggly.
pretty big beard. Yeah.
Oh wow!
Go dog.
Oh wow!
I was like,
Go dog.
Oh wow!
Bucks. I'm just making the 4-hour drive from Tampa to West Palm. I'm in a Cadillac though. Cadillac. Bitch.
That's what the videos
That's
we
the
sent.
shit I
That's
got.
the video we sent each other.
I know we just sent ourselves crazy shit, and I'm like, yeah, here's what I'm like, dude, you're Spanish. Have you seen? You look at that video. You're 100% Latino. There's no. I don't believe it. I don't care what your genome said. You have to do it again because you're from Spain, or actually. You're not. You're from Puerto Rico. It's such a fact. And then here's Chris.
Guys, let's face facts, man. I'm ugly.
Like he just woke up. He looks like shit. All right, Jim, what do you got? Give me Roadhound, though.
That's all we do is send videos back and forth.
Oh, this is the
did
first
look
one I just
ugly,
saw.
though.
Rogan doesn't really. Rogan doesn't. He
Rogan
know how
doesn't
to
play like that.
I try to get him involved in our thing, and he just can't do it.
Never.
Whoa, she's hot.
Another teacher,
Look at how hot she is.
sex scandal with a 13-year-old boy. And she is pretty hot.
Can we celebrate?
Pretty hot.
Is that the
She's a
mugshot
10.
on the right?
The right
Can we
is a mugshot.
celebrate some 13-year-old guy's dick sucked by the smoke show?
Oh my God! Why would she do that to a 13-year-old? She's so hot, though.
27-year-old.
I guess. Have you seen a 13-year-old lately? Some of these kids are
the
big in the
hormones in the
street,
meat and
man.
the
Yeah,
milk.
some of the street,
Yeah.
especially everything that
remember-
Mexican meat.
But
I remember balling back in the day. Some 13-year-olds can dunk.
Yeah.
If you can dunk, you should probably
Yeah,
be
get your
allowed to
dick
get a
sucked.
dick sucked
I
by a
agree.
teacher.
oral sex on a
Dude, why are these
13-year-old?
teachers so hot doing this?
It's crazy. How would
What
you?
city is this, Chin? And where's she at
Arizona.
so I can
What-
post her bail?
She, am I wrong or is she hot as fuck?
Is she delicious?
Especially for oral sex. I'm just saying the way her.
Are you talking about her
Mouth
DSLs?
looks- that mouth?
Yeah.
What that mouth do, girl?
I mean, I'm so
In the
impressed.
classroom. She did oral
She
sex
sucked it in
a classroom.
Dude, this is every 13-year-old's fantasy.
Truly.
What do you think what do you think causes that, Brian? What do you think
The
causes
psychology behind it?
The psychology behind
I
it.
think you fall in love with somebody you're around all the time. There's one kid who seems older.
She's also a
connected. I
kid
don't
too,
know.
though.
She's 27. She's a full-grown adult. I don't know, man.
She's young, though.
That's
I
one
don't
of the
know.
ones that's hard to
And there are
kinda
some
figure out,
adults
you
that are
know?
attracted to children. I mean, I hate
but a
to
lot
say
of that
it.
is like abuse and cycles that have gone and like.
guess. I
But
don't
this one
know.
is a weird one.
They don't have a picture of the kid?
No, they wouldn't have pictures.
We always think of it as a man on a child, on a boy or a girl, right?
Yeah.
See, if this was a man on a
We
little
wouldn't
girl,
be laughing.
I would freak the fuck
Yeah, that's
out,
right.
and there'd be no jokes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because it's this smoke show.
And
sucking
when
this
I was 13, that was
'cause
my
when I was
fantasy.
13,
Yeah.
I mean, my teacher, she had cancer of the nose. She lost her nose. I would let her suck
Yes.
my dick.
Yes.
Let alone this
Yes.
smoke show.
Yes, that
so
is true.
the only reason I bring light to it is because I was 13. I was in those shoes. If someone offered to suck my dick, I would do it.
Yeah, me too.
I probably would have fucked her nose.
And had it done. When I was 13, an 18-year-old.
You know what? That's too much.
An 18-year-old sucked my dick.
You missed. You
No,
skipped-
what'd you say? What'd
I
you
said
say?
I would have fucked my teacher's nose, and she had a hole in her nose because of cancer.
This is where,
I know.
yeah. But you apologized.
Mrs. Roach, she's dead.
Great.
She passed away. Mrs.
Great.
Roach, from
Great.
cancer.
You can't even let her rest in peace.
I can think it's the problem with anything that's like a fixed rule. You know, like 13 means a billion different things. Maybe this kid, maybe he did get taken advantage of. Maybe he was really young and immature. We're making assumptions that he's the dude that dunks and he's like got his shit together. And we've met that guy. I've also met 13-year-olds that are shy and timid, and maybe she took advantage. Maybe it is super fucked up. But like, the law is not going to give you any
No.
leadway. She's going to serve hard ass time. Maybe she deserves it if she was predatory. Maybe she doesn't.
Did you read one of the greatest books ever written, Nabokov's Lolita?
I haven't
So,
read it.
so
I know
Lolita is
the
a classic
premise,
in
yeah.
literature. It's everybody should read it. Everybody should listen to Jeremy Irons narrate it on Audible.com. But here's the thing about it that fucking is mind blowing. This is in the 50s. Nabokov wrote a book about a pedophile who was into girls, little girls. I think they were 9 to 12 was his age range. And he makes a distinction between 9 and 10 to 11, 12-year-old girls. And then he calls certain women, certain girls, nymphets. And nymphets are a different kind of creature. Now, all of us go, you're a pedophile. What Nabokov did, which he's such a genius, is he takes a pedophile who falls in love and has an affair with I think a 12-year-old or something, or 11-year-old. She's 12, I think. He makes him a sympathetic character. And
So
in
you
the
see
end,
the
you
human
go,
behind it.
you in the movie with Peter Sellers and in the book, no matter where you stand on it, you feel horrifyingly bad for the main character, and that's
how
the
it goes,
genius
though.
of
Like
Nabokov.
when in
You're
Narcos, too. Like I was like, God,
There
I
you
hope,
go.
I hope
A
Escobar
monster.
gets away, man.
A monster.
Terrible person.
Silence of the Lambs. You make him feel Silence of the Lambs. You feel bad.
hated
You want
that
him to
guy,
win. He eats people, and you're like, I'm rooting for the cannibal.
Watch El Chapo, though. You're like, oh, why do they got to put him away, man? Like, what?
I think that's why when you look at like the Norwegian prison system that looks to humanize the inmates and like recognize the human in all of us and try to rehabilitate the good instead of just that purely punitive action. There's a lot to kind of learn from that because there's some horrible shit out there and there should be consequences, absolutely. And fuck, man, especially with the sexual abuse, it's so fucking common. Like so many people I know that you'd been like, I didn't even realize it till I was 34. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yep.
Like
But
men, women, all kinds of people.
We like to destroy people, though. Like you make one mistake, or
you're screwed.
You dance on the edge. Some people are just dancing on the edge of some kind of inappropriate behavior of whatever it might be, whether it's sexual or whatever. And nowadays, I always say this with social media: you're destroyed. The people have no problem just destroying you.
Ruin your career.
It's a capital offense because it's a form of assassination. Thank you so much. You did that, and you'll never work again. You'll never have a job again.
Right. Give people a chance to make up for it by recognizing their humanness and give something positive back. It's the only, you can't undo the action.
Have you seen the Netflix documentary called, I'm going to pause for emphasis, called Push? Okay.
It's about wives giving
no, it's where they get a random person to a point where they actually push somebody off a roof and commit murder. And it is one of the fucking...
It's a reality show?
It's a real documentary. And this guy who's been doing TV shows for a long time...
Play the trailer right there,
Play the trailer, please.
This is The Push. Is this the right one?
It's called The Push. There it is. Play that for a sec. I saw it last night. It blew my fucking mind.
No spoiler alerts.
I want to talk to the auctioneer. You did talk to the auctioneer and you helped him set these prices. It's completed. It's just the... Benny. Pills. Chris, Chris, I'll call an ambulance, find the pills and bring them back.
Brian, this looks staged as fuck.
A web of lies. And that's important. I need him to
play
feel
it.
like there's only one way out when he's told to commit murder. My name is Darren Brown, and the question we're considering is simple. Can we be manipulated through social pressure to commit murder? Welcome to The Push.
This was one of the more mind-blowing human examples of how you give up ownership of your life. And it's funny because your thing is called Own the Day. And there's a subset of the population, it's a large one, and it's a social experiment. And you give up authorship.
I'll watch it because you said it's good. That looks... Hey, look at me. Look at me.
I'm endorsing it. I
can feel Aubrey's vibe too.
No.
Hey, that looked terrible.
No, it's not. It's one of the best things.
Horrible.
It's one of the best things I've ever seen.
Really? I'm going to watch it now.
And I saw it last night, and you're going to come back and you're going to go, holy fuck.
I bet. I'm just saying that trailer looks terrible.
Yeah, it's literally so mind-blowing. I watched it. My wife told me to watch it, and I was the same way. I'm always like, oh, fuck.
That trailer looks so bad.
It's 70 actors around one dude. And you watch it, and you're seeing
What's
somebody...
the mob
in real
mentality,
time.
though?
It's not just that. It's you can get somebody in a position of such high pressure that they feel like the only way out, and it's a certain type of person.
Yes, that's
right.
I could have.
A certain type
you
of
just
person.
show me a picture.
They're
like
young. There's a lot of pressure on them to perform. They're trying to do good. First thing is in their mind, in this thing, they're trying to do something very good for people.
I think that's a key thing because I think that a lot of the people who do bad stuff, they justify it in some way where they think it's good or the other person deserved it. Or there's very few truly evil demonic people who know they're doing something wrong and still do it anyways. Most people just justify it. It's kind of Jordan Peterson's argument about how anybody could be a Nazi prison guard in the right circumstances. Right. You convince yourself enough
that you're doing something, you're solving a problem.
Yeah.
What else you got, Chin? That looks terrible, Brian, but I'll watch it.
It's not.
No, I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying that trailer made me go, oh, fuck, that's terrible.
Fucking, you'll be like, oh,
really?
My God. Oh, dude, it's
How long is it? Is it an hour?
It's an hour. It's like 72 minutes.
Maybe I'll watch it tonight.
Yeah.
What else you got?
All right, the next one is Mad Mike Hughes. He actually launched his rocket over the weekend.
Oh, fuck. He got
the flat Earth
heard
guy?
about this guy, Aubrey?
Look at Aubrey's face.
Have you heard about this fucking guy?
No.
He got his money. No, nor should you. Nor should you. Here on the Finding the Kid, we've been following this guy's every move. He's created a GoFundMe to launch his own skyrocket.
He's the one who's going to see if the
say that the Earth is flat. Mm-hmm. He wants to launch himself up there to prove to everyone the Earth is flat.
Yeah,
and he did it. He launched himself up, but he didn't get that high. He went to 1,800 feet.
Oh, weird, because it's fucking tough.
1,800
NASA struggles
That's
with
not
it.
that high. You get way higher on
How high did he get?
1,875 feet.
That's book a Southwest flight.
Yeah,
You'll get to 40,000 feet.
That's actually over a mile, right? What is a mile?
5,200 feet.
Miles 5280.
No, I don't think it's even a mile.
Miles 5280.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There's kids around there, too.
What a complete waste of time.
It's a gutsy fuck.
He's a moron.
Yeah.
There it goes.
Well,
He was in that?
He was in it.
You also have
It actually looks like it goes pretty high.
You have to be actually pretty smart to obviously build the rocket and do all this.
See that? And then it just goes up to there.
Dude, that's
That
like
shit
a
is
human
weak.
cannonball.
Yeah,
that shit was
Evil
weak.
Knievel's like, what?
Does he pull a chute here, I guess, obviously?
He had to pull it twice because the first one didn't slow it down enough. And then he did mess up his back on the way down. So that's the first shoot.
Kind of what you get.
Well, there's some faulty logic going in on the.
Oh, did you really think that?
Flat Earth front side of things?
You really think you were able to prove the Earth is flat?
I guess all the scientists are wrong. I love these guys. All the scientists are wrong, but this guy's right.
I bet he came back like, definitely flat.
The narrative is great when everybody
hike a mountain. It's
all these people who are like all big pharma's bad, all of it, all science is bad. Well, I'm the one. It's a grandiose personality. I'm the one who's
you're the one that found it.
Well, it's a superiority game, right? Because if you believe something that everybody else doesn't, then you're somehow superior. It's the ego's favorite thing. I knew it. Everybody else is retarded. My life may suck and whatever, but I know this, and everybody doesn't. So they're all shills, and I'm the man.
Also, the sunlight, daylight, the rotation of the Earth with the sun. If it was flat, it'd just be daylight all the goddamn time. It makes no sense. Think about it. I didn't miss 4th grade. What else you got, Jim?
This is kind of creepy. A Chicago cop. So there's a guy that was apparently saying he wanted to commit suicide. So this cop and another cop drove him to the hospital to get his head checked out. And then the guy was actually strapped, chained to the bed. And this cop ended up fondling his.
Oh, he's a freak.
Yeah, he took out his.
He sucked his. Did he
toes.
do in that turtleneck?
Hold on, this is amazing. We are human beings are so interesting. Cop sucked suicidal man's toes and sexually assaulted him at hospital.
You know what
took him to the
called?
bathroom.
Trivia. What is it called when you suck somebody's toes in sex play?
It's got to be something about podiatry.
Shrimping.
What? No.
Shrimping.
No.
Yep, learned that yesterday.
Yes.
Learned that yesterday.
I say yes.
It's called
That makes
shrimping.
no sense.
I love it.
I
Why?
know. Well, they're like little shrimps, man. They're like little shrimps.
Yeah, bro.
Like you got 5 shrimps. You just put
Little
some cocktail
cocktail.
sauce and then some horseradish to spice it up.
We going
clear
shrimping,
the nostrils.
We going
You
shrimping.
We going
No, I didn't, but I
shrimping.
love it. We going shrimping.
Girls get shrimping.
Bro, you're so strong.
Get shrimp and then suck on this calamari.
You
You're
ever
so
sucked
strong you
anybody's
could hold
toes?
somebody's
No, not my thing.
Yeah, it's not my thing.
I'm not
I've done
opposed to
recently.
it.
You ever done it?
No, I never sucked.
I'm not
it.
opposed
It's
to
a
it.
fucking it is definitely an escalator, especially if they don't expect it. You get that whole foot
does
in your
feel
mouth,
nice, I bet.
and they're like, "Oh damn, he's on another level."
what?
Don't give a fuck.
I knew a
savagery.
girl who
This dude's a freak.
Yeah,
I know a girl told me her boyfriend, this guy she used to have sex with, he would take her foot and stick it in his mouth while he was railing. And I was like, fuck, I got to do that now, but I never did.
it's a fucking interesting move.
Well, they know
I gotta
that
say.
it's game on.
It's game
what,
on.
it might
It's an
feel
escalator.
good. It might feel.
escalator.
You know
It's
what?
an
I feel
escalator.
bad for the girl. Have you ever seen my big toe?
Yeah, I think there's always some part
It's
that's
like Fred Flintstone.
like
So
every-
they'd be like, oh my god.
That's bigger than your dick.
I think
know.
every girl has like a little bit of
Deep throw that toe,
self-consciousness
girl.
about like, oh, how do I taste? Like, what do I look like? You fucking take that foot
It's
and you
all
just
good.
jam it in your throat, and they're like, he loves all of me.
Yes.
It's all
take
good.
me.
Yeah, that
take
makes
me
sense.
entirely.
Have you ever had a girl suck on your toes though?
I
Kick a bitch in the face.
no, I haven't. But you know what I did do? I saw in a Kama Sutra book, there's this position called the herd of cows. Can you bring this up?
Yeah.
Herd of cows, Kama Sutra. And
that
I
spam
managed to, with the help of Caitlin, I managed to create this fantasy called the herd of cows, where you have all of your feet out and your thumbs out, and you have somebody riding your toes and your thumbs.
I need to visualize this.
Whoa!
Somebody's got
Hold up.
Is
Herd
that
of
it?
cows, Kama Sutra. That's not it.
They've got their.
So basically,
Hold on.
So basically,
how many people does this take?
5. It takes 5.
One.
And then there's people on your toes, there's people on your thumbs, and then there's someone riding you.
You've had 5 women do that?
I
That's
did
impressive.
once.
You talked in 5
Yeah,
girls.
I did
That's
once.
impressive as hell.
I was
Wow.
younger. I was like in my young 30s.
Wow.
Is
Congress of Cow possible?
I'll pay
Congress
5.
of Cows. This is not good. No, it's called a herd of cows. I'll have to send you the image. But I actually never had anybody suck my toes, but I did.
I feel like you feel
insert
nice.
a big toe.
I feel like
into a
it'd feel
vagina.
nice.
I think it would probably. I don't think it's not like a big
start
turn on.
shrimping. Shrimping ain't easy.
There it is.
There it is.
As Al Magdrel says.
There it is.
Possibly.
That's
Herd of cows.
That's
herd
what
of
you did?
cows. Yeah.
God, talk about sex.
When I think of a
goals.
herd of cows, I think of a herd of cows.
When I think of
Yeah,
herd
I
of
don't know
cows,
why
I
they
think
call
of
it that.
5 fat girls lined up, and then I'm just behind cracking.
You know,
'Cause I'm a
the
cracker.
funny thing
Let's
about
get in line. I'm a cowboy.
the funny thing about like the multiple, because I've been fortunate, I've been super blessed, and like threesomes and stuff. A lot of it is about ego. Like it's kind of fun, but it's also distracting. It's a lot of work. You pay a lot of attention.
Isn't it?
I actually much prefer just
one-on-one?
having sex one-on-one.
Yeah,
I feel like
I'd say it's the best time, but keep going.
Yeah, because I feel like threesomes, foursomes, fivesomes. To me, you would know better than anyone, but it's a lot of work and it's like a lot going on.
You got a shot clock, because you got your primary partner. You can't spend too long. It's like you're the Golden State Warriors.
I call it the best.
Call it game management.
It's incredible.
I call it home. I call it home. Where I belong.
You're like Phil Jackson. You got all these superstars, and you got to make sure this one gets the ball. This one gets the ball.
That's right.
By ball, I mean dick.
Yeah.
So this one gets the ball. This one gets the ball. Then someone's going to take the game-winning shot.
Yeah.
That means busting in the face.
Again, I call it.
You got to manage.
I don't want to.
You got all these
else.
personalities. You got
need
Shaq
players.
over here.
You need Rodman, who's just willing to clean up the rebounds.
Which means like
you
your
don't get.
asshole.
Everybody's Kobe Bryant.
All of them think you're Kobe Bryant. You Derek Fisher.
No.
You're going to suck my asshole from the back. Yeah, Shaquille O'Neal. You can get pounded.
Well, I call it heaven. That's what I would call it. That would be my word.
I call it stressful.
No, you call it stressful. I call it heaven and where I'm supposed to be. That's all. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I call it worth losing my house and my marriage over. Now, here's the thing.
I
call it visitation rights for my children.
It's such a funny thing because there's so much restriction about it and so much like taboo surrounding it.
Because of porno, you think? But if you watch,
it's just everybody has so much judgment around it. Like these are just pleasure buttons.
Why can't we all fuck each other? If I get a massage,
it's like we have a piano, but it's like don't play the black keys unless you're fucking in this crazy relationship. Just play the white ones. Those are good. Like no, play all the keys.
Why do you think
like,
we're
relax.
we are so uptight about sex? Like if you're caught with the amount of shame attached to sex and being sexual,
unless you're Donald
in
Trump.
Any way. I mean, I've heard a lot of feminists talk about how the new wave of feminism is so sexless. It's so repressive.
It takes the romantic out of anything. You can't. There's no courting anymore.
It's kind of
because guys aren't going to take shots.
No,
they're not going to take shots because they're worried.
Well, also a lot of the new feminists, sort of like the women's studies, departments, are all kind of glossed over Marxism anyway. I mean, the idea that there's any difference between men and women biologically is considered to be offensive. James Damore got fired for it.
That's a waste of time to even talk about. Yeah. That's ridiculous, especially here.
It's almost a waste of time. It's a strong ideology.
But there's some people you watch. I've seen pornos where our girl also Kara would hit me up, but I've seen her where she jacks guys off with her feet.
Yeah. There's all kinds.
You ever had that?
No, I'm not really into that foot thing. But I'll experiment. Whatever. The thing is just removing all of the shame and also removing all the ego, thinking that you've got it figured out, thinking that you're the best, like trying to show up. I realized too recently that a lot of what I was doing when I was younger is using other women to validate my own worth as a man. So if I was able to do that herd of cows, I felt like, oh wow, I'm more of a man. I was basically putting
that'd be true in that situation.
Putting a mirror between everybody's legs and then looking between and saying, oh, did I do that? Well, that must mean I'm a man. That must mean I'm good. And you don't even enjoy it when you're doing that. Just
it's like an accomplishment.
It's some weird validation thing that you're getting rather than actually
doesn't it go back to not going for the goal? It's kind of experiencing the process. It's kind of like
experiencing the process. Here's a fucking challenge for people. Have sex knowing that your intention has nothing to do with coming. And this is an interesting process because then you're totally in the process. There's no goal. Orgasm is not the goal. You're just fucking.
I heard ISIS does that.
No, that's a really.
It's a fucking cool practice. You don't do it every time.
I have arrived at that
as
an older man. I've arrived at that really enjoying the process.
Because you have dick problems, yeah.
No, so far I don't. Thank God. So far I don't.
You definitely don't.
But the night is still young. You never know.
What else
and if you
Jim?
do, man, you know how devastating that is when you have dick problems too.
ED?
As a guy, young guys, tons of them will talk to me and they'll be. And I was that guy, man. I was the guy
who had dick problems.
For a little while, I had a
lot of guys.
I had a girlfriend in college that really mind fucked me. If I didn't get her off in a certain way, she would turn her back and masturbate in front of me, wouldn't let me touch her.
Oh wow!
And fuck my head up.
How hot was she though?
She was.
You put up with some
she was
shit.
blazing.
And you don't know how to deal with that when you're
young. I didn't know how to do it.
Show me her
I thought
Instagram.
it took me like years to get over that. I was actually so nervous about my performance because I thought that meant that I was a man. I turned down this fucking threesome in Australia that just haunts me to this day. Like I turned it down because I was so nervous that I wouldn't be able to perform it was better for me not to even try than to risk potential failure.
Talk about bombing.
I was there.
Wow.
You know, but now with my attitude, it's like, just fucking go in there and play. It doesn't matter. It doesn't make you a man or less of a man, whether your dick stays hard or not. Just as long as you're in the process and enjoying it.
Sometimes ED's mental too, right?
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
Really?
Most of the time. Think about animals don't have ED. What's the difference? They're not self-aware. They're not judging themselves.
Those old rhinos don't?
No.
Those older rhinos don't? Older horses?
No.
Really?
They just fuck.
Yeah, it's just humans.
A lot of it
could be supplements, right? And diet or
a lot
something.
of it's, I think most
depression.
of it's mental. Most of it's
That'd be mental.
You would be shocked at the people in the prime of their testosterone and whatever, like just freaked out. And, we talk about sex a lot, and obviously the relationship with Whit, and Whit's like so many of the girls will meet a new guy and they like won't be able to perform.
The guys won't
be. And then these are like young guys, and
That's
it's all
tragic.
because the pressure that you put on themselves. And you listen to rap songs, you have these expectations, you watch porn, you think you need to do this thing, and there's so much validation you're trying to get from it, so much pressure. It takes the fucking fun out of it. You know?
Damn.
And it sucks because it's like ruining one of the most enjoyable things that you have when you get your head all caught up in it. So
I'm quiet because that's never happened to me, but I
neither,
think it's a
but
real.
I do think it's a horrible problem to
It's a
have.
real issue.
No, it really is.
doubt.
Even
doubt.
people
I
think it's
can't-
just an older man issue, but
I
it's
can't
not.
tell you how painful those years were for me. Like so fucking deeply
For a long
painful.
time.
For like 4 years.
A very common thing for a lot of guys too is that a lot of ladies men, and I know a couple of them who just they put up numbers, they get girls. After 3 months, they can, no matter how hot the girl, after 2 months, whatever it is, they can't fuck them anymore. And that's another thing because they
sucked the validation from it,
There you go.
and that was the whole thing.
and
there.
they're only interested in it for the
chase.
validation.
Yeah.
And the chase, yeah.
I want to be validated. I want you to once I win you,
It's gone.
it's gone. And that's not
Yeesh.
healthy.
doing it wrong.
What else you got, Chin?
Doing it wrong.
You're doing it wrong.
Chin, you got any dick game problems? You
No,
good?
but I wanted to ask you if you guys knew what sexual transmutation was. Have you heard of it?
No.
Definitely
So
haven't. If
it's
Aubrey
like-
hasn't, you're screwed.
It's like you don't come, you don't even jack off, you don't
Oh, you
have a
put seaweed
girlfriend
on your...
or anything for a while because you can focus on all the stuff that you want to complete, and then all your energy and your focus goes into that project. So you become way more better
That's
at
been around a
things.
long time.
Yeah.
Fighters do it. People do it.
They use, it's actually a folklore.
I think
it
it's
actually
better.
lowers your
I think it's
testosterone.
better to still fuck and not come. Like I don't think you stop fucking. I think the better move is to fuck and like withhold cum like a couple times a week.
Oh
or,
no,
like,
absolutely
twice a
not.
week.
No, I hear you. But the thing is what I like to do
Brendan,
is come and then go on with my day and complete stuff. Because if I don't come, my brain goes, "Fuck everything else, man. Let's get this other thing going."
I can't think
Let's
of
make
anything
horrible
else.
decisions that will risk your work until we come.
That makes sense too. That makes sense too.
What else you got, Chid?
You know about baseball, right? And your boy,
Yeah.
Tim
Timmy?
Tebow, he's moving up to the Double A's, which I don't really know much about. But the Mets are signing him to the Double A's or
That's
promoting
good,
to
man.
Double A's.
He didn't hit well. Huh?
A cool .056.
I don't know what this are.
What?
That's a headline. I'd have to look more into.
I saw it on MLB.com too.
He's been doing pretty good though.
They're moving him to
Yeah.
the Double A's.
Yeah.
Whatever that.
Listen, man, the people, especially at that level, you need leaders. You need guys, these guys look up to, his work ethic, everything. He's a beast of an outfielder, too. So there's a lot more than just that.
Cool.
It's hard to get up at that.
Yeah.
From there though, it's going to be a heavy sledding to
Nightmare.
get to the.
The
get to
general
league.
manager said, but the owner of Mets said they think he'll play for the Mets this year.
No shit.
How crazy is that?
He got cut though, right? I mean,
No. Tim? From the Mets?
so he said he's moving up to.
No, so the way
Double A.
baseball works is so there's
Single
single
A,
A,
double
double
A,
A, triple A. So you start in triple A, right? And then you work your way up. But those teams are associated with the Mets. So he signed with he's been playing spring ball all with the New York Mets.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's
He
moved
didn't
up
get
now.
cut.
So now he's in Double A next
Yeah.
to Single A.
Yep.
Triple A. No, next to Triple A.
Triple A. Single A,
next-
double A, triple A.
Yeah.
And then
And
big
then
leagues.
the majors. That's tough, huh?
Tough road.
Fuck, it's hard.
He's doing it though, man.
Doing it.
It's crazy,
and you're
right?
going around on like buses.
Yeah,
and
he's on the
fucking
bus with the team, everything.
grinding.
Think how much people go. Think how much shit he gets. How
But
much
again,
hate he gets.
that's willingness to put yourself out there again. Like good for
Plays
him.
for the New York Mets. when people are like, God, I don't know, man. Oh, you don't know? You never played sports in your life? He was a Heisman Trophy winner, played in the NFL, won the AFC West, and then goes, oh, I want to play baseball, and he plays for the New York Mets. Oh yeah, hate on that guy.
Yeah,
hate on that guy who's closer to heaven than any of us.
He's so humble, man. Like getting on a bus and just, I'd be making speeches and just living the Aubrey Marcus lifestyle.
What else you got, Chin?
Just to close out on the last story, the Chicago cop. So he took that guy to the bathroom and also blew him. And then the guy complained.
We got a real freak on our hands.
The guy complained, and then they did DNA testing on that guy's piece, and that's how they found out that that guy was sucking him off in the bathroom too.
Some would say that's a good time. However, if you don't want to do that, I mean, again, did he do it in that dope leather jacket and the turtleneck?
What we leave out is, did he
toes?
get hard? And did he get hard? Like, was he just sucking his?
It
was like, hey, come on, you're shrimping me right now.
So weird.
Think if you're the victim though, where you're like, oh thank God, and you're like, you're all right, bud, and he tie you down, like you're not commit suicide. I'm good for it, and I'm good. What are you doing, man? Listen, I'm just gonna suck on your toes. And I'm gonna suck your dick.
Well, it's all. This guy obviously had so much fucking shame and repression, not being able to talk about it. It creates these aberrations,
and now it's out.
And now it's fucking out. And then you cross the line and you do something against somebody's will, and then that's fucked
fired.
up. And now
he's
you gotta
fired.
go to jail.
There you go.
Now you're fired. Now you can be sucking all the toes you can handle.
You're right.
Now jail.
A lot of bad shit comes from suppression when you're not allowed to
recognize your own
express
demons.
yourself.
Recognize if you're a freak. Recognize what that is.
But don't do it to the suicidal man. Go hire a pro or something like
The
that.
guy's vulnerable.
Yeah, exactly.
Tears turn some people on.
Tears. What else you got, Jen?
This is a death.
All right.
Just letting you know. So at those luxury cinemas where they have those really nice recliner chairs?
Yeah, I love those.
And everything. So this is in Birmingham, England. And a guy he dropped his phone into one of those chairs. So he went to go underneath it to grab it. And then that recliner started going down automatically and it trapped his head. So he ended up having a heart attack, taken to the hospital, and then like a week later he died.
Oh, but it's not like the chair crushed his
He
head.
freaked out. He freaked out so hard when it happened. So they finally were able to
he's
remove it.
claustrophobic. Oh, thank God. But I mean, most young, healthy people, that chair's going down. It's not going to crush your head and kill you.
I'm sure.
Like, God, what the fuck, man?
You can't get your head out, I guess.
Yeah.
What a way to go. Man, life is short.
Embarrassing.
You gotta fucking eat.
What movie was he at?
Cold, do some things.
Cineplex?
Enjoy this thing, man.
Shit.
Did it say what movie
Enjoy
he's
this.
seen?
Oh,
though?
no, I don't know
Did
what
he go
movie
out
he
on
saw.
a good note? Did he see Black
Trying to see
Panther? or
Black
something?
Panther, yeah.
Yeah, nothing about the movie.
It can happen to any of us.
Oh,
This
dude.
could be
happens all the time.
it. This could be it.
What, right away.
Let's enjoy this fucking moment.
Let's just shrimp each
hang with
other.
our friends.
Let's
Let's
shrimp
take our
each
shoes
other.
off and fucking get weird.
Spree shooter, whatever.
What else you got, Jen?
All right. This one has a lot of funny stuff in it. So,
Those guys are completely normal.
though they're both gay and they had sex with a
One
certain
has
guy.
no chin, the other has the biggest chin I've ever seen in my life.
You need to meet in the middle.
I've never seen anything like that.
You need to mix
One's got the biggest head in the world, the other guy's got the smallest head in the world. That's the smallest face in the world. One's an ostrich. One's an ostrich, the other's a hippo.
No,
I've never
B,
seen anything
the
like
guy on the left looks like the scene in Beetlejuice where he sprinkles the dust on his head.
100%. Sir,
Good
stop
news is,
shrinking your
if they
head.
both fucked the same girl, you would know who the daddy was.
100%.
That's for damn sure.
What happened, Chin?
So they ended up trying to rob from a guy's house, a guy that they've been boning down with.
They've both been fucking the same guy?
They've both been boning down with him. And then they
say
stole a
boning
couple
down.
of things like his TV and some other random stuff, AC unit. And then they try to use tomato sauce, spaghetti sauce, to burn down the house. So they sort of like put it on
very
the
flammable.
stove.
Oh, they're smart too.
Yeah.
Good looking and smart.
They wanted to make it look like an
Tomato sauce?
accident. And then they all,
What?
I don't know.
So they poured
This
tomato
place is gonna
sauce.
smell like
They poured
Italian
tomato
restaurant.
sauce over the house and set the
on the
tomato
stove,
sauce on fire.
on the stove, and then they put a towel there to hopefully catch on fire.
Oh
for the
my
house to catch
God.
on fire. And they were dressed in a bull's outfit. Like one of the guys was dressed up in a bull's outfit.
Okay, so they sound like they're.
What city is this? Is this in Florida?
That's like one of the worst plans ever.
Ever.
I mean, I think there's some like PCP involved.
I was about to say.
I think there's some
Some of that-
serious.
some of
Sounds
that
like there's some
drugs,
shrimping and a lot of meth going
some
on.
dissociativeness.
Where's Volusia County?
Doesn't matter.
Florida.
It is Florida?
By the way,
No, I
of
don't
course.
know.
By the way, it doesn't matter, and of
assuming.
course they're from Volusia County.
I'm assuming.
And this is the guy that got his house almost burned down.
Let me see this guy.
This is what he wrote.
Fucking
no, he
both
just
of these trolls.
You don't see him here. He goes, it started out as a relationship that lasted about a week. The victim told him. He let them use the car for 4 months, and then he thought that maybe they're angry about that, or maybe that they're angry that he gave them $150 to fix his teeth, which I don't really get.
Okay. Here's
There was not
$150.
enough.
I don't know. This is the weirdest
You
thing.
guys look
His
like
teeth
dentists.
were too fucked up, and
Yeah.
he needed more money.
Yeah, they
to
look like
fix his
dentists.
teeth.
Let's go ahead and.
People are weird.
Those are the weirdest looking humans I've ever seen. What else you got, Jen?
Not much other than, I don't know if this is
Give us one
surprising to you
more.
guys at all, that LeBron spends $1.5 million a year on his body.
I know. I'm guessing through diet, the masseuses, all the training he does, the personal training on the road, and then he's 32 now.
I don't know.
I think he's 32, and he's the best he's ever looked and played.
That's a tricky thing anyway. He's probably got like a trainer and a strength.
All that,
doesn't-
and chefs.
And chefs. Yeah.
Chefs and stuff like that, too.
Also, you say
33.
1.5?
1.5 million.
Okay, well, he signed a $1 billion deal with Nike.
It's
Still,
relative
it
to
sounds
your
true.
industry.
That's
Like
not true.
if
That's
you spend
It's a lifetime deal, Brian. $1 billion.
if you look at it like a business, he's a business.
Yeah.
You know, like if you invest into the business,
That's
that's,
not
a
shit
fucking
for
that's just
him.
nothing.
That's not
Oh, you
shit
got
for
like
him.
a fucking 1.5%.
and he's the best player in the
maintenance
league.
investment in your
At
business.
32,
Doesn't Ray
Duh.
Kurzweil spends $2 million a year, something crazy.
Who?
Look that up. Ray Kurzweil, transcendent man, the guy who wants to live until computers catch up so he can live forever. He spends $2 million a year, I think, on supplements.
Oh, there's another guy. Kurzweil spends a lot. I don't think he's the $2 million guy. There's another dude, like a Russian dude. I think I know who you're talking
Weird.
about.
But that guy's like just trying not to die. LeBron's just trying to stay
Do some
healthy.
psychedelics. Realize death's not
He's
that
all
bad.
over the
Just
map.
enjoy life.
Yeah, he's all over the map.
Yeah.
LeBron's like doing the most he can so he can stay at the top of the spear in the NBA.
I don't know.
Either way, though, it's not that crazy. I'd expect him to do that. Cool, man. Dude, we appreciate you, brother.
I fucking appreciate you guys too.
You got a hell of a run coming up. Dude,
know.
you have your own clothes and shoes now?
Yeah.
How the fuck do you
let's
not
talk
send
about
the
that.
fashion kid some shit?
Hey, I need
Dude,
some
I got to
stuff.
get you guys some stuff.
I'll wear it.
I got to get you guys. This is one.
If you want sales
one
go
of my
bad,
shirts.
that's dope,
Terrence
man.
McKenna.
Yeah.
We talked to the McKenna.
You got
State.
jeans, you got
jeans,
shoes.
shoes. I got to send you some shit.
Come on, brother.
Yeah.
You have good skin,
It's dope,
good
though.
muscles.
I know you look healthy right now.
Remember when
Thanks,
we were wakeboarding and Aubrey was wakeboarding and
Wake
and,
surfing.
wake surfing, and then he had a shaved head, and I was looking at his body, and he had tattoos, and he's all brown, and I go, I just kind of was looking at him, and I go, I looked at my arms, and I go, I'm going to shave my head, and Brendan goes like this, Brendan, fucking Mr. Diplomat goes, bro, don't shave your head. You're not going to look like Aubrey no matter what you do, so don't shave your head. You'll look fucking terrible.
trying to
You'll look
be
like a
solid.
boiled yam or something.
Trying to do you solid, brother.
I was like, okay.
The book doesn't drop for what, till April?
April 17th. Books
Own
out.
the Day, Own Your Life,
Yeah.
Aubrey Marcus. I've read it. It's
We got our
great
copy.
information in it. Mm-hmm. Walking, working, learning, eating, training, playing, sleeping, and sex.
And then
Waking.
they can get it at Amazon,
yeah.
Barnes & Noble.
Amazon, Barnes & Noble. All the options are at ownthedaybook.com. Check it
Let's
out.
make this bitch a New York.
I appreciate
Time
that.
seller.
I appreciate that. There's definitely some shit in there that'll wake you up and make you realize, like, even there's from the little random facts, like eating ginger after a meal will help your stomach empty 50% faster. Like, a lot of people don't know that shit. So if you're feeling super full, you crush a bunch of ginger.
Damn, that's
your
dope.
stomach empties 50%
I didn't know
faster.
that.
Like, most people don't know that. I didn't know that till like you get down into the research. You
Like
do the
you read the
PubMed.
book, bitch.
6 deep breaths lower your blood pressure. So instead of taking one breath, you take 6 deep breaths. There's like little shit like that. And then there's the big process. So, you know, people are going to get some stuff. out
Wim
of this.
Hof.
I
breathing,
dig it,
which you
man.
do.
I dig it,
Talks
brother.
about that in there.
We can't thank you enough for coming in, man. We know you're
Yeah.
busy. This is one of 40 you're doing on this PR
Aubrey
tour.
Marcus.
Aubrey Marcus,
One of my
ladies and gentlemen. This is the Final Kid. We're out.